Hey, Commander. It would help if
Hi there.
I have to turn down like 4 or 5 different devices. How's it going?
Oh, all right. Hopefully, I can pass my dot physical soon. I got the love letter from the state of New York, DMV, basically saying if I don't, I'll lose the commercial part of my license and I will have to reapply.
Oh, that's awful. If it makes you feel any better, they do the same thing to me. Every time I get caught with a joint or something, they like make me retest.
Well, this is basically just because I'm up for getting a new certificate. It's nothing like a joint.
How's it going? How is everybody doing this evening? It's Monday night here at the Godless Sewing channel. I would like to thank everybody who's going to watch this in the future and to everyone who's recently subscribed. Thank you. Here at the Godless Sewing channel, we just kind of shoot the S, have the time of our lives and enjoy our Monday evenings. Commander, how are you?
All right. I actually had like a burst of subscribers recently, about
Oh,
10 of them.
awesome. Do I have a heavy echo?
No. Do I have a heavy echo? I can see my avatar is like skipping, so I'm hoping that I remembered to turn the fans underneath the computer on lest the computer overheat.
How's it going, Phoenix?
It's going.
Do I have an echo?
No, not right now. Not yet. Give it time.
Awesome.
Oh, echo
So
into house. Oh, I got my headset and my mic and then music playing that I probably need to turn off.
yeah, what are you listening to?
This is Teenager of the Year by Frank Black. It is. I listened to this album like 6 times. Yep, they got it. You gotta turn it off now. I know. Okay.
It is,
got it.
you know what? Summer has come and hit me like a brick. Hey, how's it going, Ziggy?
It was actually recently one of the hottest, not one of the hottest day on the planet since they've had the ability to monitor that.
That kind of scared me when I heard that. I was like, does that just means that we can't control the weather?
Hey Ziggy. Hey, oh my god. I got my
Yay.
no, I don't know how to be a YouTuber. We're not professionals around here.
So I have giant hands. Let me practice. Is that it?
Yeah.
No, hold on. Is that it? No, I can't do it.
No, fingers in. It's just my lights funny and backlit.
I bought a leap motion that should let me do that, but they sent me a leap motion that didn't even turn on.
I'm so cynical, my fingers won't bend that way. Welcome to the Insane Asylum, where we talk about literally everything. I consider myself the Seinfeld of sewing. I sat down and thought about it last night because in the community I came from, everybody's all about defining yourself, you know? So I am the Seinfeld of sewing. I have opinions about nothing and everything.
Oh, Ziggy, it was so much fun to hear. I'm so glad that we could help dip your toe into the live streaming.
Yay, Ziggy. So I actually, because I'm a super proactive person, while I'm on stream, I just sit and literally stitch and bitch. Are we past 2 minutes? No, oh yeah, we
I
are.
think
Okay,
so.
Like it. Is it time for the cursey words?
YouTube does not like it when you curse in the first 2 minutes.
we're a good 6 minutes in. But I actually finished the front of my battle vest.
Awesome.
Because I was trying to make something school friendly because my son's starting a new school year, but I think I might have failed again. I might just need a plain vest.
It's like you did not boomer anything. You were perfect. That was pretty much how we show up every week. And I am doing a little bit of hand stitching on my lavender long sleeve chemise thing. Right, we don't really sew here. We more or less bullshit under the guise of being a sewing circle.
And I
Yes,
have a ton of pictures too. But I finished this last night. I don't think it's too school friendly, but I like it.
fun. Yes.
I'll pull it out later because I have the back patch pinned, but I have this OCD thing where it's not like spot on yet, you know? So I'm gonna pull the pins like 4 or 5 times before I finally sew this completely.
Right.
But the funny thing about sewing is I started that at like midnight. I looked up and I'm like, holy cow, it's 3:30 in the morning. Yay! Hey, butterfly, how's it going? How's it going?
You must feel like I did after I got done animating that power armor laughing. Believe it or not, I spent an entire day trying to get all those. I spent more time on the power armor because it didn't have a face to emote. But I spent all day animating it, making it not look like crap.
I know exactly what you're saying. When you get into projects, like time disappears. Hey, trees, how's it going? How's it going? You're single-handedly going to be the reason I move to somewhere where there's woods. I'm not kidding you. This place is driving me to you know what's funny? I haven't had a drink in 12, 13 years. This place is driving me to drink, so it's time to move. So, what are we sewing tonight? I'm finishing my battle vest because I'm in my 40s and I will not let metal go. I have not grown out of that phase. It's going to be funny, like 20 years from now, to see people in retirement homes, well, if they still exist, with battle vests on. Like old men like me dressing like it's 1985.
Ooh, we're getting a shot glass stenciled right here. I mean, not right here, Ziggy.
1985. I don't actually think I remember much from that time. Outside of preschool.
Don't get outside. Right, we don't get sewing under the influence penalties around this. No, not around these parts.
That is such a good point. The only way you can get a sewing under the influence is if you were operating a motor vehicle intoxicated while sewing, and I would actually want to see that. I
think that's what the bicycle, when we attach the bicycle up to the treadle machine.
But you're not necessarily going anywhere.
You
know?
could be, though.
True. Commander, I'm so sorry. What did you say before? I actually had a point about that too. Sorry.
Well, I don't remember much about the year 1985.
I come from a large family, and because of that, I remember like my brother dressing like he was in the Flock of Seagulls. My other brother going through a Lost Boys phase where he would dress like a vampire, but really he just had really cool porcelain teeth.
The first year I actually knew what year it was 1989.
Yeah, I think if we sewed it up.
Well, I haven't taken an order for a while, but you could, you know what? Contact me on Twitter and we'll talk about it. And we'll talk about like the logistics of it. I'm totally down though. I need to get off my duff and start mass producing my stuff. The house of sewing needs to fly once again. So yes.
That actually sounds like a better name. Remember, like Lord and Taylor was God's sewing room, and that sucked. So they decided Lord and Taylor.
Yeah.
Well, the house of sewing is probably more commercially viable than Godless Sewing, even though there's nothing wrong with it.
Godless Sewing has actually doomed me in a lot of ways because there's, you know, it's really funny that you would say that. Like, Ruwan has completely embraced me, and anytime I comment on anything, she'll respond. But there's other people in certain circles that shall remain nameless who don't say anything. I'll like make a point, and I come in with science, and I'll spell check it to make sure I don't come across like a complete idiot, and they ignore me. And if you see the fabric in your hands,
so I know I was like, I've done that. Hopefully, we don't have that on this stream because this linen with bloodstains might not be so pretty.
do you know what though? It's funny you say that. I have a few vests where I've like ripped my finger up while I was hand sewing, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep going like a soldier. The blood
sometimes is blood, sweat, and tears.
Marines make it rain pain. Godlet makes it rain sewing.
Turns out this is like the first time in more than 150 years the Marine Corps doesn't have a commandant because of Jim Jordan wanting to. He has a problem with the U.S. military trying to out white supremacists. You know, people who can't show respect for their fellow soldiers or commanding officers.
This is the name of my next metal album.
Hopefully we do not have a thimble full of blood. That's a good leave out.
So they're trying to stop him from outing the white supremacists, and they're against it. Sounds like some of the same old. Really quickly, let me take my glasses off for this one. Here at the Godless Sewing Channel, this program is for entertainment purposes only, and the content is not intended to malign any religion, race, company, individual, or wigs. All opinions expressed by Godless Sewing and program participants are solely their personal views and do not reflect the opinions of every human being on the planet. And here in Godless Sewing Airlines, we have exits on both sides. And if you speak Spanish, that's a la izquierda and derecha. Back to you, Phoenix. Don't forget to tip your waitress on the way out. Thank you for flying Godless Sewing Airlines. Hey, Waternay!
All human beings have assholes, so we are all assholes at least some of the time. So
I like during my disclaimer out because we hang out with people from all different walks of life, all different sides, and people get offended on the internet. I've recently done a culling of everything that I'm like, if anything annoys me or if I'm not into it anymore, I have unsubscribed.
That is too funny. A thimble full of blood is part of the initiation into the sewing month.
I like it. I need to go back to that. Sorry.
Is there like a Mary Poppins like song we can write that has to do with a thimble full of blood?
My head. Yes. In today's world, yes. There's room for all kinds of metal. All metal is valid. My head reverts everything to music. Mine does too, as well. Or like a Black Label Society or a Slayer song. When I was in the Army, there was an attempt to recruit me into a skinhead group. It's huge like that too. My brother was in the Marines in the late 80s, early 90s. He joined in 1989, and he I never understood why he knew so many gangsters from LA, but they all kind of clicked up together because they were all in the Marines. They were all from the LA area, and he was from the suburbs. Super spoiled guy, but it was the strangest thing. He was in a car club back in the day when people had car clubs. He was in a Ford Escort car club, and shout out to my brother. He called his car the Black Knight.
A thimble full of blood makes the vest a lot more rad. A lot more rad. A lot more rad. A thimble full of blood makes your clothing all look bad in a very, very good way. Is that good? Good start?
Yes. Yes. Hey, Waternay's mom. How's it going? How's it going? So, Trees, some of the most hardcore people I've ever known went through the Army. And that's actually a trope here in LA that, like, they go to the Army and come and get training and then they teach it to the neighborhood. That's like a huge trope. I think you're right, Kilroy. I stiffed my finger with a ganger sewing shears. Okay, so Joe Bonobo asked me, I think that's how you say it, about a pair of scissors. And you know what? What's your opinion on that? What kind of scissors like there's the ones that we all want that we see on TV, but I use 99-cent store and Cutco's from like 1990 something.
I have a pair of Fiskars. I do have a pair of Gingers, and I have my rotary cutter. I do like those like oil splash ones because of the look of them, but I don't know if they're sharp enough. Oh, and I've got my grandma's old black handled ones that need to be sharpened.
Hey,
Those I think
sorry.
antique scissors for the win because older is better. Hey, trusty ape.
Hey, how's it going?
What?
I'm still here. I haven't moved because I have to reset the iPhone. It's been on for ages.
No worry. You know what? I almost was going to talk about this stream. I was always going to dedicate it to like how much tech is too much tech. But this room is like on fire because of the heat. I didn't turn anything on until about 45 minutes ago.
Oh, no,
Because it's like unreal with the heat.
You are.
Oh my god.
A Public Enemy actually has Bald Boys to Men as bald as a Ken doll.
I'm up on the chat. There I am.
I miss those days when you actually had a tape and you'd listen to every song on the album. Even the crummy ones that they just put on there for fillers.
I'm sorry, I have a background human who's trying to be goofy. Hey, background human.
This is our new
Shh.
rearrangement.
I like your setup though.
I'm trying to find the right idea.
Hey Mark, how's it going?
Still working out the kinks, but there's my kitchen.
Sorry, I put on this leather vest thinking because it's lighter, it wouldn't be as hot, and I am like in a sauna vest right now. But it feels lighter than my
I
denim.
can breathe very well.
True. I went through a hardcore leather phase. Oh, those are awesome. Do you know what I kind of Trusty? Don't tell anyone, but the Trusty Ape is here as a secret agent.
Secret agent man, secret agent man.
So, right off the bat, I want to say happy birthday to Dio, because the one time I saw Dio at the Long Beach Arena with Motorhead and Iron Maiden, I had the time of my life, and that was a great show. And I know he's not around, but that was an awesome show.
Yom Haledik Sameach.
Fiskars are reputable. I really like Gingers, vintage Whis. I have Whis. I have a ton of Whis. Are excellent. Good scissors can be sharpened. You know what's really funny? I feel like I didn't put my Whis back together correctly. We're gonna have to I need a tutorial for my Whis scissors. Because I took the screw off and I sharpened them like to the point where you could like throw them in a wall and they would stick. But the screw on it was so old it was like warped almost. It's 81 degrees. Alexa, what's the temperature right now?
Right now, it's 85 degrees Fahrenheit.
I don't know why I just yelled at my A word. It's the coffee's kicking in.
Right. Well, we're just getting all that I'm showing tonight.
Yay! A hardcore leather phase. Was that when you hung out with those alternative bars? Well, they're not alternative.
Although I've always wanted a leather trench coat.
I have one.
I'm trying to think, do I? I'm gonna have to go look at my arsenal. Do you know what's really funny? I stopped myself from buying a beige trench coat 2 days ago because I was like, you have like 15 trench coats. You need to stop. Like talking to myself at the Goodwill. I wish I saw Motorhead. I really wanted to see them, but never made it to see them. You know, it's funny. They opened the show. It was Motorhead, Dio, and Iron Maiden, and Motorhead was better than everybody else. And because I grew up a hardcore wrestling fan, they played the Triple H theme song, and everybody freaked out. Everybody want to play the game. Oh, the good old days of irresponsibility. You know what's funny? That was 21 years ago when I saw them. when I went to that show. Ronnie is just a rainbow in the dark now. It was a good show. That was a great show. I wish I'd seen Bobby Caldwell. There's like a whole list. I'm glad I saw Slayer as many times as I did. Like, I've seen Ozzy more times than people have seen their relatives.
Yeah, I've heard about this crazy, ridiculous flooding in Vermont and in the Hudson Valley too, like in New York City or outside of New York. It's so cray.
I boycott the news, but I did catch that. That's crazy. Because I live in such a dry climate, like I wouldn't know what to do.
No, well, it's what happens when it rains here after a fire and the mudslides and the burn scars.
I want a duster. So you're in the right place. If you're looking for a duster, come with me, my friend. What size would you like, Ziggy? I make a duster every time I get bored. And I have nothing to do. Let's make a duster. It's an actual habit.
Oh, hello, Mr. Background. Yeah, don't get us in trouble with your fanny on stream.
I have my glasses on. I can't see that far. Dude,
I've been looking.
And I don't think
Oh,
the
that was
YouTube AI is good enough to, where he was standing at the time.
Do you know what's really funny? I think I should do a duster tutorial. I think it's time. Because that's literally like my, that's, what I do to give my Richard Dean Anderson line. I saw Iron Maiden on the Power Slave tour. Heck yeah. I miss those days. I don't think my kid has audio sensory issues, and I don't think I have the chops unless they serve tons of water that's not $20 a bottle.
Drink water. It will lower your blood pressure massively over inhuman amounts of soda.
I really, because I don't drink alcohol anymore, I'm kind of down to go to a festival. I just don't have the chops to stand in the sun anymore. And because I'm not intoxicated like that, I don't think I'd be able to stand there all day. Guster's is in his duster face, probably will be his whole life. It's because I work on a ranch and it just fits the whole cowboy motif. Even if I was to leave here, I would take all my cowboy stuff with me. So... No, Mark might have a perfect fine duster. I would love that. I think it's time because it's like what I make. So it's time for a duster. I'm in the wrong meeting. I have a machining tool addiction. Look, I'm getting...
I used to have a machine shop in my garage too.
Well, actually, Mark, you're in the right place because I have a tool addiction. I have a studio. I hoard studio equipment. I have many addictions. You're in the right place, sir.
I had a machine tool addiction, so you got two people on the stream who've had a machine tool addiction.
Yeah, I still do. You know, it's really funny. I keep this here. I own 7 of these, and this is the smallest one that I have. That's the only reason I keep it in here. It doesn't kill the power in my house. Do you have a duster with a hood? Have you made? Yes, it's because I'm obsessed with that peasant hood, the Hobbit hood look. I did that for a while because I was kind of over collars. I went through this huge phase where I was over collars. I think people would like if you showed more sewing content. Okay, here's my beef, Waternay, and I agree with you. I went into sewing entertainment because no one watched my tutorials.
Amanda, do my sign.
And then when I started shucking and jiving, for the lack of a better term, people started watching my videos more. And so when I started incorporating music and like just the more crazy side of myself, people started watching my my videos. But a lot of my earlier videos are actually extremely educational. But I got little to no feedback at all, so I just went with what I know. And I'm a craftaholic. Hi, Ziggy. You're in the proper place.
The added drama that you do and the enthusiasm really adds to your videos. So keep on adding that extra touch.
Thank you. I also consider sewing, and I don't mean this to be insulting, but sewing is dry, and unless you're really into it, you're not gonna watch it. And like, I don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race, but I watch people who watch it just because they're so entertaining. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that I'm not even into, but I watch certain YouTubers, and I'm like, I love your channel. I'm not even into what you're into, but I love what you're doing. Oh, whoops! I jumped a few. There's so many sewings on how to YouTube, so many sewing lives as well. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just a projectaholic. I am as well. But where is that line? Because I am trying to incorporate the education part back into my sewing, but like no one watched my videos.
But if you make evergreen content like that, you don't know. Just because they're not getting views now doesn't mean they won't. And I wonder if on Rumble and the other platforms, if maybe it's just just not on a YouTube.
I'm wondering if I should do tutorials on Blender, but I'm not a very good entertainer, so.
You are, Commander. You are. There's a market for everybody. I didn't think anyone was gonna watch anything I put out, and I'm still shocked when I get more than like 40 views. Because there's like the 35 people I know who watch my stuff, and every single one of you are awesome. But anyone else besides that, I'm like, wow, they really like my stuff.
About 40. I usually get about 40 to 50 views, regardless of what effort I put into things. There's one video so far that's gone viral, and hopefully it's going to continue chugging along, but I think it's going to start crapping out soon.
My mini sewing machines, like I have one that hit 8,000. I was shocked because I hadn't checked on it in a while, and I'm like, 8,000 views, and I wasn't even trying. It's one of those things, like when you're trying, people can tell you're trying, but when you're just genuinely like, this is the machine, this is what it is. It was like the most raw video, and it's my most watched video. It's the strangest thing.
Well, the production value, the video that actually has gone viral is where 2 weeks before June 6th, I basically produced Eisenhower goes out and does his D-Day address, but you combine it with, the Ukraine stuff. And sure enough, they started the real push on June 6th. It's almost like the Ukrainian military was basically saying, we're fighting Nazis here.
That's crazy.
That was just a guess when it would start.
Dove, I officially have called myself the Seinfeld of sewing. It's a lot about nothing. And it's going to end with me, Elaine, Kramer, and George going to jail.
No, not tonight, kid.
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. You know what's so funny? Spoiler alert. That episode makes me cry every time because it's not funny to me. The last 30 seconds is not funny to me. It's not. It makes me cry. Oh, but they got convicted for being bad people. Seinfeld's awesome. I know that a lot of people don't like Seinfeld. You're very knowledgeable.
Well, it was on for more than 10 years. It was at one time the longest running sitcom.
Okay, so is or is not I Love Lucy the longest running sitcom of all time? Or am I just going on old school information?
I'm talking about actually making new episodes.
Oh, okay.
Because Lucy and Desi had their falling out with each other, and then that put the kibosh on I Love Lucy's new episodes, and then they tried to make up, and then they had the Lucy Desi comedy hour, and then that went to hell, and they went their separate ways.
And We Love Lucy was kind of depressing. I've seen every episode. It's kind of depressing. I haven't heard anyone who liked the end of Seinfeld. No, After you invest in shows, you invest in things, and they ended it like seriously, like this is seriously how we're gonna do this. And now I just have the theme song of RuPaul's Drag Race pumping through my head. So I'm really waffling on making a duster with my my Waverly material. I don't know why I've been waffling so much, but like when I hesitate that much, I feel like it's for a reason.
You wouldn't realize how many towns are named Waverly. You think Springfield is common. God,
That's
from
like
New
Lafayette.
York to Connecticut to Pennsylvania, Maryland, Ohio, they all have Waverlys.
What about Lafayette? There's a Lafayette
I've seen that too.
in every state. And everywhere except for Arizona, there's a King Boulevard. Oh, it is hot. Do you know what's really funny? I promised I wasn't going to cry about the weather during the winter because we had such a terrible winter, but I reserve the right to cry about the heat. So, besides being Dio's birthday, today's also Tesla's birthday. So, shout out to anyone who's ever tried anything and had it completely stolen away from you.
Nikola Tesla, right? You're not talking about the car company, you're talking about Tesla himself.
Oh, Ziggy, I like that idea. You and Phoenix should combine your superpowers. You could make the duster. Phoenix could make it steampunk. It would be great. That's not a bad idea. I actually make clothes for somebody that's Phoenix's height too, so I could make it where I can actually make it to where it's not dragging on the floor either.
I appreciate that one.
We're all inclusive in here in the House of Sewing. You need to do a San Francisco patchwork duster. Do you know what's so funny? I feel like I've kind of sold out because that's how I started, was doing slow stitching in San Francisco, and I've kind of completely graduated and branched out to all these other things. But that was my love, was just sitting here and just making really intricate patches. I need to get back to that.
Well, there's nothing wrong with sitting and doing a flat felled whips. I was doing some hand sewing for my steam treatments. It's not my steam treatments, but sugar snaps. It is hot today.
It is. The West Coasters are not ready for the heat.
We're grumbly, but there's only little fires. It's not like full on fire season yet.
Do you know what's so funny? I woke up and I had to use my nebulizer. I'm like, oh, fire season is in full swing.
Oh, that's right, because you did have that fire that blocked the 5. So you probably had smoke from that.
And I'm about to go off about Cessnas. I completely forgot. I'm about to continue your stream into this one.
Oh, right, the 2 plane crashes.
We had another one today.
3rd? Oh my God, people need to stop flying little planes.
I've had to clean up before I've done a shop tour. My machines are buried in tools, and I have more of everything. I'm the same way. Everything from machine to another machine, just use them in threads. I've been embarrassed. Every time I take a picture, and I'll show you tonight, of something that's near the cat bowl, there are 3 generators on the side of my house where I am just this is embarrassing of how much equipment I have. Show one machine at a time. That's awesome. I'm down for a machine tour. Someone brought up the Edison-owned electric sewing machine Gay Wax had in his collection. Edison had been coming up all day, then used Philly Deli's electric patent motors open patent. Edison stole anything he could get his hands on.
Just like Singer, or he just bought the patents for them too.
Singer was ruthless.
Just like Musk. Because a lot of his ideas basically were from 100 years ago.
Well, Elon Musk also, his power grid, he didn't invent that. He just put his name on it, which is genius, by the way. his the at home power grid, a lot of his solar stuff, he just put his name on it because he had the power to promote it. Never understood flying those tiny planes. The design of most of them is literally 1940s. Gary Wax. Oh, okay. You know what though? There's the kicker for the Rams name is Matt Gay. There's a lot of people with a last name Gay. So if a first name Gay, I wouldn't be surprised. Someone had the first name Gay. But there,
You'd be surprised how many streets in these small little towns that you pass through are named Gay and Bigelow. And in fact, you got a Bigelow Street right next to a Gay Street.
oh, I would be taking pictures like this next. That's so funny. That would promote tourism around here if people did that. Do you know, the one thing I don't understand is and I'm not saying that we're technically digressing as a species, but I think we are technically digressing as a species because I live in a place where people fly Cessnas all day long. And never in my life have I seen so many crashes. People crashing on the freeway. People do not know how, like just because you have the money to buy a plane does not necessarily mean that you should fly one. My mom had to say,
And also, there's the attitude of, I have bought a plane. I don't have to maintain it.
there's a is it the Van Nuys Airport is right by the dispensary that I go to. It's actually the funniest thing when you see a bunch of stoners standing in front of the dispensary, like, hold on, the plane's coming, man. And it flies over the shop and everybody's like, whoa. But they're literally at the end of a runway of a shop. Like literally at the end of the runway.
I just did it. Had to free my finger from my sewing project. All right, we're officially a sewing stream.
I am going to sew the back patch on in a minute, but I've been tripping on the placement of it. I'm just going to put it on there and put a bunch of stuff around it. JFK Jr. is on that list. There's a lot of more people on Earth than we were back in the day. More people, more chances. I agree. I love this statistic that in 1939 there were 2 billion people on the planet. How many people are on the planet now?
Almost 8 billion.
So in 80 something years, 6 billion people were born. 6 billion. And I always laugh because I obsessively watch Stargate. And on Stargate, they are always like, oh, the Earth's population is going to reach 6 billion soon. And that was in the 90s, in the mid to early 90s.
But also we have like antibiotics and things. So it's not just people being born, but
and
also
refrigeration.
People not dying.
True.
Refrigeration is one of the reasons why we wound up getting above 1 billion.
When I get bored,
preservation of food.
Exactly that, and penicillin, which I'm weirdly, they say I'm allergic to it, but I think I'm immune to it because I've taken it so much in my life. Send in the clowns. Now I just have the Krusty the Clown song stuck in my head. Yes. Oh, speaking of which, that's a great segue. Today is Global Energy Independence Day, which none of us will ever achieve in our lifetime. Okay, so hear me out. Today is National Pizza Day in Brazil. I went off about this a couple of weeks ago. Has anyone ever heard of a Brazilian pizza?
No, all I can think about is feijoada.
Okay, so I'm saying this from memory. They roll a giant thing of mozzarella cheese just in the crust. Okay, and they make it deep dish. I mean, like a literal dish because there's food going in there. They put tomato sauce, corn, chicken, beef. Hear me out. Brazilian pizza. It's a heart attack waiting to happen. It's the greatest thing on earth. 2 weeks ago, I said, "Oh, ha." I looked it up. It's within 25 minutes of my house because everything is. Brazilian pizza exists. It's amazing. If you have any heart conditions, don't tell them I sent you. If there's anything wrong with you, but Brazilian pizza is amazing. It sounds like a code word for BBS.
We're just gonna pack all the junk in the trunk with that one, please.
You just invented that, Kilroy. You just invented. 9 glasses taped and ready for etch, but 5 a.m. comes too quick, so gotta go. Gotta bow out. You have a great night. Thank you so much for coming by, Ziggy. We go for if you can't sleep, I usually go for 4 hours.
I know. I think they've got like a day job where they actually have to be up in the morning on East Coast time, so they're not like us West Coast degenerates or my friends who don't sleep.
I always forget that West Coast, we're the second to last time zone. Like in Hawaii right now, they're eating lunch.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming by, Ziggy.
Have fun, honey.
Now for something completely different. Everything. See, Waternay knows. Waternay knows my secret.
Do it real quick. She just left, but I appreciate everybody who stopped by and was so kind to her yesterday. You are still here. You are so sweet. You're adorable.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to have you back if and when you feel compelled to hang out with us degenerates.
And you are so welcome here in the Godless Sewing channel. I might do an afternoon stream one day, on a Saturday or something, just so we can all hang out with the East Coast people.
I did not keep them awake.
Well, most of the time when I can't show up, it's because I have to work or I have to get to sleep to go to work. But it's not entirely bad for the East Coast.
This is the one day where I can stay up all night because I don't work on the weekends, which I need to start putting pictures in the chat because I have a lot of pictures to show. If anyone's seen my last video, a few people were like, "Oh, is Godless in a church?"
Right. No, you're just the church took over your space.
I actually work, and I know that's strange to people, but it's an actual business, and we rent it out to people. And it's
there was a synagogue that I belonged to where the J rented out a little part of the J to a Baptist church.
That's what we do. It's a Unitarian church that's ran by a rabbi. That's the hold on, oh man, I have so many pictures to show this evening. He's actually a nice guy. I am one of the reasons that I walked in there and I completely forgot because I do not go to work on Fridays. But I had to go to work. I had to film some stuff. And I walked in the hall and I was like, oh, and you know what? The funny thing is, I almost walked out because I'm extremely respectful. I was raised hardcore Roman Catholic. If it's not yours, don't touch it kind of thing,
Yeah.
But then I had that moment. There's a saying in woodworking, if you can't fight it, feature it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to work this to my advantage. Oh, whoops. I have to open the window first. Boomer. This is total boomer sewing right here. Forgot to open up Twitter before I was going to show the picture. I had the perfect setup too. Yikes.
Hey, Skits.
Hey, Skits.
Hi.
Let's see.
Such a rabbi. I tried that Moon Brew tea. Works really well for sleep. Interesting. I haven't tried that one.
I work for mentally disabled adults, and he is an extremely kind man that covers all religions. And just being mean one day, I asked him, would he do a Muslim ceremony? And he looked me dead in the eyes. He's like, I got the book ready. You ready? And I said, no, sir. I was just challenging you. I apologize, sir. I apologize. So he's not playing. And he's a great human who goes out of his way to help people with physical and mental disabilities. Well, I call it Unitarian, but he's just I guess it is kind of Unitarian.
If he's doing all that, it's got to be Universalist.
Can you see that?
Yep.
Yep.
Let me take this down. I'm getting better at my YouTubing. But it made me laugh when I walked in there and I saw this. And I wasn't going to do anything too disrespectful, but I had to sit in the chair. I had to. And who was raised Roman Catholic. Like, it's just a thing. It's just a thing.
I wonder if I ever visited whether he'd enjoy when the service starts. Someone just going Shalom Aleichem Malakei Asharet.
But my mom is the only person on the board of directors who's Catholic. So you'd probably get a hug. You'd probably get a hug at my job. More religious leaders should be like that. Sleep's no problem for me if it's more than 4 or 5 hours either. I'm sick of recovering from something. I need sleep, or I'm a babbling brook. I need sleep. Unlike
There's this range where when I'm just tired enough, I don't think about what I say enough, and I wind up actually talking fluidly without too much stuttering.
oh, that's so funny. Do you think it's because you're not thinking about what you're talking about?
Yes, but if I wait too long, I wind up getting too tired to make any sense. So there's a sweet spot.
I wish I had all the extra time, Kilroy. That's how Martha Stewart does it. That little sleep makes me sick. I have to sleep, or I am like full, like QAnon, red hat, flag on truck. Your people are trying to communicate with you.
When I was on Vyvanse, right, and I had lost 50 pounds, some of my best writing happened when I hadn't slept for a week. It was off the wall manic batshit.
I don't think anything. Does anything productive happen when you're sleep deprived, or is it like when you're on like acid or shrooms? You think you're being productive, but you're not. Is it one of those things?
I'd have to say there's only one person I know for sure they were productive when they were intoxicated, and that's Thomas Paine. He said he did his best writing while drunk off his ass. So he must have been a great guy to hang around with.
You got such a tan yesterday, bro. You got such a tan. You look like a Greek person, or you look like a Roman. You look extremely Mediterranean right now.
Oh, that's how this one goes. The taco, 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 taco.
Oh, here we go. Early. We're already with the taco flavored kisses.
Hello, Hands.
Oh, Hands is almost my height. Do you know, as a parent, it's the strangest thing because because I come from such an older family, I have family members that look at me and they're like, they still think of me as like a kid. Every time I look at my son, I see that little boy with the King's hat on, but he looks me eye to eye now.
I remember not being as tall as my mom, basically my head was as high as her head. I will never be as tall as you. And now because my dad was the giant American, I tower over her. She's like 5 foot.
Oh, really? I come from a long line of on my mom's side, all the women were like 5'3", 5'4", like my sister was considered a giant at 5'5".
Oh, that's fun. That's funny.
She towered over all the women. I do my best writing when I'm drunk off my ass. When I'm sober, I always overthink things. Drunk, it just flows the other way out of me. I'm the opposite. It's really funny that way. I'm the exact opposite. I have to take my cowboy boots off. I can't sit here with uncomfortable shoes.
And now we're back. And now we are on Only Feet.
No, I'm wearing my real ones, and like, because I actually had to do some cowboying today. Oh.
Cowboy boots were invented in South Florida. It was either Davie or Cooper City. No one actually knows, and they were designed to keep the water out of your boots. And the design was so popular, it just spread.
They fit great in a saddle and all that, but like I have a wide foot. And so this is not necessarily the most kind thing to my foot. But they fit the best when I'm riding.
When I was a wee little kid, we had actual gator skin cowboy boots. Everyone in Cooper City or Davie had cowboy boots.
It's like that around here, but a lot of those people are pushing an image. My aunt was like, I was 38 and my aunt had me confused with her adolescent grandchild. I'm 16. My kiddo has a friend taller than me. Whoa. You know, it's funny you'd say that. Isaiah's best friend, he's my ex-wife's best friend's son. For some reason, I always thought he was older. He just graduated the 6th grade and he's 5'11".
Oh man.
That's taller than me. Flat-footed.
I will tower over you then.
I'm 5'9".
I'm not.
I'm hearing the stripper theme song. You know, I don't have my stripper body anymore, so I don't have the motivation to do the dance. I used to have the genuine body, but now I look like genuine now.
You've just got your dad bod going.
Do you know, people shamed him, and I was like defending a grown man on Twitter. I'm like, he's in his 40s. You are lucky he's on stage. Leave him alone. Ironically, the more sleep I get, the more tired I am. On the off day, when I get 8 hours plus, I'm always headachy and drowsy all day. That's your body recouping. That's my crackpot doctor. That's Dr. Sewing. No medical or legal advice here in the House of Sewing. That is super tall. That is tall, Skits. Skits, hop in if you have nothing to do.
After not drinking soda for a week, instead of being 20 pounds away from my goal, I wound up being about 12 pounds away from my goal, and my blood pressure dropped significantly.
Congratulations.
You know, it's so funny you say that, even though I drink soda now like a crazy person. I had migraine headaches. Well, this is while I was married to my ex-wife. And the doctor, she was like, okay, I need a food diary. I was like, oh, okay. I drink 15 Pepsis a day and I drink about 2 pots of coffee. The doctor was like, okay, stop drinking Pepsi. I lost 10 pounds in the first 2 weeks when I stopped drinking Pepsi. But now I'm back.
Just switched to
464 ounce things of diet soda every day minimum. So that's how much soda I was drinking.
Oh wow. Now I drink like 2 or 3 a day. I've really calmed down. I'm not as jumpy as I used to. Old age will do that to you. Old age will definitely do that to you. Okay. So now that everybody's here, Alibaba, if you're still here, I have a picture if you're around, but I'm going to wait for Alibaba because I want Alibaba to see it and I don't want to. I actually walked past a sewing machine this weekend.
How bad was it? How crappy was it?
Well, it didn't have a price on it, and I have a rule. Okay, good. I have a rule where if you have to ask for the price, you can't afford it. That's a rule. It's a rule of mine, and that's my own rule. And I'm really polite with that rule. Okay, so let me get my pictures ready because this is Boomer Mixed Sewing over here. But I know people judge me because they always think like I'm always I buy every machine I see, and I actually don't. And this one will become very obvious why I didn't, because I have no room. Spoiler, I have no more room. No more vacancy here in the House of Sewing. You know what's really funny? I'm saying that in the mirror more to myself than anyone else.
Right, I know, because I was just, somehow I fell into Fred Sanford's Facebook page, and he's selling his bronze white rotary for $1,500. I was like, ugh.
because he knows what he has. See, you have like he's the market. You have to price it off of people like that because he literally is the market. It occurred to me that if a woman had gone on stage dressed like that and whatnot, she would have gotten so much flack, no matter what her mental state. Oh, whoops! I saw the clip of Louis Capaldi at Glastonbury, where the whole audience supported him by singing. Walked by a sewing machine. Where's the real godless? I know. You have to check my temperature on that. There's a sewing machine on fire in a bed. No, I want Alibaba to see. I'm guessing a well cabinet with a fold down. Because this thing was fancy. And okay, another thing. Let me go to Twitter again. Also, I walked past a green vinyl ottoman and he wanted $55 for it. So with my Sherlock Holmes deduction skills, I was like, I can't afford this place. Because if you wanted $55 for something I can make in my house, like I know for a fact. Let's start with this picture. And so I do walk away. This is a I always jokingly say that I'm back from the alternate universe. Okay, that's when whenever I shave my beard, I'm back from the alternate universe. I am such a boomer. I can do two things at once. I can't. All right, there it is. Can you guys see that? Can you see that?
Yes. Oh.
Okay, so this beauty had a lion head on it. And I'll get to the last picture, but look how beautiful that thing is.
Yeah.
And it was a mini. When I say mini, it was half the size of a normal sewing machine. Like I said, I'm real. I spend an unreal amount of money on sewing machines. If it doesn't have a price tag on it, I can't afford it. Especially here in Southern California. It's probably not even worth that much, but the guy I've seen this type of machine. I was hoping, you know what's really funny? I took this picture with Alibaba in mind. I was like, I hope Alibaba can identify this.
We're in trouble if they can't. Oh, it's not a singer. Okay.
So I want you guys all to know I think of you even when you're not around.
I do too.
But I was my patch shop moved. There's one punk patch shop left in LA, and I'm not, at least on my side of LA, where I don't have to drive into like the east side or somewhere that's literally an hour and a half away. So they moved, but they're on a street where I have to find parking. I drove past it 5 or 6 times. I'm man enough to admit I had to pull over. I had to like pull out my directions. I asked somebody and they were like, bro, you're literally standing in front of the building. And I found my patch shop, but hey, Dev, but I got lost and I found that sewing machine. And if it wasn't for my phone, I wouldn't even know where I was. But I found the most random thrift store on earth.
I lost my patch shop, but I found a cute sewing machine instead. That sounds about right.
And I found the person who runs the shop is from Norway, which makes sense because there's a lot of like really rare Norwegian death metal band patches in there.
They're from their personal collection.
I swear he had. I'm gonna ask him one day what machine he has, but like sometimes people like that won't answer because they figure out that you're the competition. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's like that one costumer who didn't even. I tried to compliment her rhinestone dabber with the wax and the tip, and they were like, "This is my job. You can't. I will give no hints, no nothing." I'm like, I'm not trying to put a bee up in your bonnet. I just complimented you because it was sparkly and cute. I wasn't trying to. It was weird.
Not a singer, huh? No, okay. You actually brought up something that's a really big pet peeve of mine, of when people scream at their chat or berate their chat. Like, I don't get that. And weird segue, shout out to Rebecca Watson. She randomly did a live stream. I've been subscribed to her for over 4 years. And I was just saying, she was talking about Star Trek, and I had a conversation with her on her live stream today. So shout out to major YouTubers who still remember of the people who got them there. You know?
Yeah, like that chat I was in. If you're going to have specific chat rules, when you log into the chat or go to chat, like just have it pop up because you can do that, or have one of the night bots be like, we don't do caps, or we don't do this, or we only talk it. Like, if you're gonna be that picky and bitchy, just let people know.
No, I agree. There's actually one YouTuber that I reluctantly lurk in their chat because their rules are extremely intimidating. You know, they're
Yeah.
like, if you don't have anything to say, don't click the link. If you don't blah blah blah, like, okay, aggressive.
Yeah.
And Kilroy, I should clean this room anyway. It's not enabling, it's just help. But I have a bad feeling if I walked up to that guy and asked him, oh, how much for that sewing machine? He'd be like, 2,500, sir. LA's
Like
crazy.
Right. I like you, but it's
Really?
not that rare.
I've sold machines for outrageous prices to people in LA, like Malibu area, the Hollywood area. Shout out to Rooster's Relics. I shouldn't say his full name, even though his name he uses his name in the chat. He told me he sold a machine that he held for me. He sold it to the studios because they were looking for a background for some show. And I was like, hey, brother, business is business, man. Like, if I wasn't here, sell it.
Right. I don't really need another sewing machine unless it's that holy grail 3 that I'm looking for.
Eventually, I am going to move my camera and show off the one that I recently purchased. But also, how many more singers do I need? How many more white rotaries do I need? This is the man who literally just bought a white rotary.
Who just bought another white rotary.
Well,
Right.
actually,
But
you
those whites
don't
are
need
so
them,
great,
but
and
you
you've
love
got all
them.
those attachments.
What's that, Commander?
Well, you don't need them, but you love them.
I do. What's that, Phoenix?
Oh, the puzzle box that you got, the attachments with that new one. They're so cute.
I was shocked on how clean and unused it was.
I know that you have the original paperwork for it. That's Dove, I don't know what you're saying there. Waternay puts his
Thank you
fingers
for
in ears.
reminding me, Phoenix. Let me make sure that I don't have any crud in my fingernails. Let me make myself big. I forgot about these. This is original from 1927. It's super greasy, so it might not. Here we go. Let me get in more.
Oh, look at her. She's so fancy sitting at her sewing machine. So many uses.
Fancy. Now look at this guy golfing.
Oh, that cute little slip. Oh, yes. Oh, that detail. Oh, the ruffles on her shirts. She must have used her ruffler attachment. Look at that lingerie. See, she's got tap pants and a bustier on.
And the original instructions from 1927. Oh, page fell out.
Oh, no. Yup. Oh, the narrow hammer foot attachment. I love that one. Oh, the tucker.
Everybody's favorite.
I love the tucker.
And of course, the superior
the-
darning, which is so
The
old.
sewing
I'm scared
machine
scared
attachment,
to
the
take-
tucker. Don't you?
Hey, we're all inclusive here in the House of Sewing. People who tuck are welcome here as well.
Right. Oh, the superior darner patches holes in your socks better than last time.
I love attachment manuals. Me too. You know, it's one of those weird things I fell into. I have a collection of machines that I don't even have. I love manuals. The days when you had to dress like you were going to a 5-star restaurant just to sew. Do you know?
Exactly, because you had the house
Go ahead.
Oh, so go. No, I'm going to go first. The house had to be cleaned. You had to do your makeup and you had to put on cute clothes, and then you could sit at the sewing machine instead of me and my stuffs.
Do you know, I've been watching a lot of the like, I found a channel that shows a lot of the old 1950 TV shows, and the Dick Van Dyke, the original show, sent such a weird message. I'm sitting there watching it like, Mary Tyler Moore, like it's the weirdest thing. They're trying to be traditional even though they're not, you know.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was about. That's my middle name. Ooh, a superior darter.
Oh, it's supposed to be the Stopac Star.
I do wish people dressed up more.
I know,
We've
I'm
gotten
sloppy tonight showing up.
So I'm
Yeah.
like 50-50 on this because I do get dressed up. I make my son wear decent clothes when we leave the house. I mean, like clean, like pressed, nice clothes taken care of. So I'm 50-50 on that. Like in my house, you're not allowed to leave looking like a slob. It's okay if you come back looking like one. But
You mean
Oh, I get it.
go ahead, Commander.
you mean when your kid spills something on the shirt and do you bring the kid home, or do you just let the kid say, "Oh, it's just some fireworks"?
Oh no,
Like
no, no, I'm not.
that's one thing that I did when I didn't want to go home. So I just said, "Can't we just pretend it's fireworks?" The stain.
I dress sloppy at home, but going out, but if I am roughing it, well, I dress for the occasion. I agree. No, I would never shame my kid. I'm against public shaming. If you make a mistake, you make a mistake. I knew a man who literally would scream over spilt milk and he had a stroke. So I try not to follow that human. And it's not my father. It's just someone I know who was an influence in my life, but he was a crazy person. He was always mad about everything, the most angry human I've ever known. And he raised shaky humans. Dress well before you go out, relax at home is all right, but it's okay to invest in good loungewear. You know, I always jokingly say that, like, if you're at the store in sweats, you've given up on life. But like, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I shouldn't judge people, but public shaming just does more damage in the long run. I agree. See, I'm old school. I grew up around some public shamers that would call you out, and they created some angry people, you know. Agreed about dressing for the occasion. Yeah, I agree. Do you get dressed up, Commander?
Going to synagogue, yeah. Going pretty much elsewhere, I usually wear just long sleeves and jeans or sweats or something like that. As I get skinnier, the clothes are going to that I choose are going to be less baggy and wind up fitting better.
I dress for the occasion. I try not to wear, like, I have, like, you've seen my patches in my vest. I try not to wear them around like churches and in my kids' school.
Although I do have to get that leather trench coat. I just don't want it to be like fake leather sold as real leather. I bought a leather jacket at Kohl's and it didn't seem right, but it said genuine leather and then it was just fake leather.
There's a big difference. It's funny you say that because I actually have a few pleather jackets and I sit there and I look at them and I'm like, what is the difference between pleather and leather? It's really the aging.
Well,
Like,
I mean, this jacket, the leather just felt really, really light versus a jacket that I had for 10 years before the zipper fell.
Do you know what's really funny, Gilroy? I tell myself the same thing, like, I'm gonna have a heart attack one day. So I really chill out about a lot of things. That's why people think I'm a lot more chill than what I really am in real life. I just let things go. because they're not that serious. But I'm the same way. Recently, one of my neighbors called the cops on another neighbor. I don't know what, but I'm sitting here. I see on my camera 4 cop cars come down the street, and I'm like, oh, I didn't do anything. And they drove past my house. My first thought was, dude, you need professional help, bro. Like, you need other people exist. No need to be public shaming. I want more encouragement. Fake leather isn't as comfortable to wear, doesn't breathe. But how do you feel about denim too? Because like Walmart sells almost denim, and then I put on a real pair of Levi's and they feel like silk compared to Walmart jeans, you know? Where's that? Like I said, I'm not a snob. I'll smoke swag. I'll stay at a crappy hotel. Like I'll stay on the bad side of town. Like I'll drive an Indian motorcycle. I am not a snob. I'm not an elitist. Would you wear pleather, Phoenix?
I mean, I have, so I can't I have in the past. Vinyl's not pleather, but I do have a whole bunch of vinyl that I'm going to practice jump on because it was cheap before I cut into my nice leather. So, that's funny. The term vegan leather managed to make pleather look cool. I know, and it takes so much resources. It's actually more sustainable to have real leather than stuff that's petroleum based.
Polyester blend and too much stretch stuff makes for hot, uncomfortable clothes that wear rather than wearing it. You know, I never thought about that. Like my Captain Kirk uniform, I don't wear it because it's 100% polyester, and it does not breathe. It does not breathe.
Yeah. It's like a snowsuit.
Hard to beat a nice lambskin leather bomber jacket. Do you know what's really funny? I think I have one. I think I have a navy one. My dad, he had this jacket. It was this Pride jacket, and when I finally got it, I looked and it was made in China. And he had it for years.
See, I have a nice Italian leather jacket that I bought for myself in Italy more than 20 years ago. I do need to put a new button back on it, but it's a nice coat. This
is actually older than me. This is one of my Pops' old vests, and I've had it since I was in the 6th or 7th grade. Do you know what's so funny? Every time I put this on, I can tell how much weight I've either gained or have not. If you go back and look at my very first video where I ask, and that question still remains, does your phone have shields? 2 years ago, I was not ready for people threatening me on the internet. I was not ready for the internet. I was not ready for the anger and the vitriol and the hatred that people have. So I made a video of does your phone have shields? Do you feel protected because you're online? I have bail money and plane money. But I'm old now. Keyboard warriors. I wasn't ready for it.
Vitriol.
Absolutely. I come from a tactile world, so I wasn't ready for people. I understand now they're just some 14-year-old kid in his mom's basement mad at me for existing, you know. Hey, Sydney. There's a lot of clothing we should keep alive. 100% polyester. Anything is not on the my Star Trek uniform. I love that thing.
Denim is okay.
God, this has a leather patch vest. There's a slopper. This thing is old. This thing is a sloper. Slopper? Slopper. Hey, Sydney. But this vest is so old, it's returning back to its original color. I'll show you. It's actually funny. And I haven't changed it. I've just taken patches off and put them on over the years. Literally this vest is either my age or older than I am. Yay, hello. I keep my block list well fed. If you want to be a tough guy over a judgmental asshole, on the block list you go. That reminds me, Gilroy. Thank you so much. Really quickly, I hate plastic clothes. They always melt from grinder and welding sparks, which is bad enough, but they leave scrappy metal edges. I agree.
Scratchy
metal edges. I should put my glasses
on. Where's your glasses, kid?
The metal chips basically melt the fabric and then embed themselves into the clothing, and that sucks.
That's why I wear leather everything when I'm grinding, when I'm doing anything at the shop or at the club.
Yeah, it's a safety thing. Right, leather's better for grinding. You don't need.
I was hoping someone would catch that. Your pattern fits that like a glove. You should use to modify for various fashions lines of for other clothes.
Okay.
Sydney's on the West Coast.
Welcome to the best coast.
Today's a great day. Today's a good day to break in someone who's not necessarily here all the time, because it wasn't like 102 today, you know.
Oh,
Yay, what are you doing, Sydney? Are you doing anything exciting? I'm going to be doing some touristy stuff in LA soon. I'm going to go to the animal jail. From once a year, we go to the zoo. And I give the otters a dirty look. Fun fact, lays do not care if you live or die. Always dress appropriately. Thank you, Skits, for the more you know. Do. Kilroy is gonna capture that for the show. I wear leather for grinding. Godless Sewing 2023. It's fun. The West Coast is fun. There was something else. Oh, my White Rotary box. Oh, hey, shout out. Today is International Town Criers Day. And that's not just a hobo screaming in the middle of your town square. That's the hear ye guy.
12 o'clock and all's well.
Oh, I can actually see from here. Oh, and it makes me laugh, but today is National Wyoming Day. I've been there. They have big trucks, and it's fun. Lots of rock climbing with trucks.
Oh, the Black Hills. So much fun.
Yellowstone, and then that's it.
This machine does not have a brain. Use your own. That's a t-shirt. We're seeing sights tomorrow. Insert Grinder joke here. Do you know what Grinder is, Skits? If I ever see you on Grinder, I'm going to send you in the private chat your own. No, I would never shame people on Grinder. That's ridiculous. If I see you on Grinder, I'm going to point and laugh. Tomorrow is Hannah's day. I hope you have a great day tomorrow, Sydney. And for those who don't know, Grinder.
Is Grindr like a app like OnlyFans or something?
It's where young men go to find each other. So Grindr is where eager men go to find each other. And the funny thing is, it started off in the UK and it's built off onto the West Coast. Did you say gay Tinder? Grindr is a gay dating.
That's what Skip said.
Sydney, I hope you enjoy the way. Sydney, I hope you really enjoy the West Coast. I hope you have a good time. I hope everything works out for you. Skits destroyed me with the Grindr comment. You destroyed me. I think I would never out anyone on Grindr. Just as if you're on Sniffies, I'm calling the cops. And if people are all going to be looking that up. Sniffies is a site where people do poppers together and then have coitus. Los Angeles is a strange place. It's a strange place.
What's poppers?
Nitrate. It's a heart medication.
Please educate us.
There's no medical, legal, election fortification, financial. There's no advice.
It's Spanish fly. Have you ever heard of Spanish fly? I wonder when the bubble is gonna pop on all these dating apps. Absolutely, Sydney. Absolutely. Yeah, it's skits. Sniffies is real. And you know what? This is a non-sponsored shout out, but shout out to Sloppy Seconds podcast because that guy has promoted Sniffies more than Sniffies ever could promote itself. Hey, Alibaba. Reach in the locker and grab the Spanish. I can't believe we're talking about Sniffies. It's literally a drug that certain people take before and after sex. It's smelling salts.
No, it's not.
I'm trying to, be more simplistic about it.
Right, but poppers make you more amped up, and smelling salts wake you up after you fainted. So I just
It's the gay smelling salt, I guess. I don't know. You know what the funny thing is? They sell it in grocery stores here. They sell that stuff like at you can buy it at liquor stores here. LA is a different planet. Los Angeles is a different planet. Dating apps scare me. I'm going to tell you honestly, Waternay, I have never had a successful encounter on a dating app. And I'm not saying that you should ever do this. Do not take any medical or legal advice from Godless Sewing. But I've had more success from meeting people I've met on YouTube. And shout out to all those people who didn't hack me up and I got home safely.
Well, it was like that whole article a couple of weeks ago about ladies being so upset with dating sites that they were starting to meet individuals at like the Home Depot or Lowe's. Like
I saw that. The idea is that you're going to meet someone who's more of a productive human. Is that like the idea?
Mm-hmm.
And Kilroy has it 100%.
Yeah. It's amyl nitrate, though, not alkyl nitrate skits, but that's just me being particular.
Alcohol. I don't know the difference. I do not know the difference.
Unfortunately, it has to do with the chemical structure, so it's very specific. Like, one is right and the other one's not.
One they give you at the club, and the other one they give you when you're on the hockey rink.
Right.
Imagine drinking the popper and sniffing the bottle of gin. Oh, that's gross.
Oh, my nose would hurt. But if the gin smelled nice, then I'll sniff gin.
I wonder if there's high enough proof alcohol you can get high on the fumes.
They still sell wood grain alcohol, and because of my stint in college, which means I actually was in college, the pickled pickle will almost kill you with a bite because of wood grain. I've watched someone go to the hospital because of wood grain. So I bet if you sniffed it, you'd probably get a buzz off of it. No legal or medical advice here in the Godless Sewing Chair. And for anyone who's wondering why I keep on giving a disclaimer, it's because my son might be watching. And if you're watching, take a shower, bro.
And also, there are douchebags who will get offended over absolutely nothing whatsoever.
I get hate mail. Honestly, I'm compiling all the D pics, all the who do you think you are, and all of the like, I didn't like this, I'm going to unsubscribe, and I'm just going to make a video about it one day.
Oh, that'll be good. That should be funny.
Sir Sick has done that, and it's hilarious.
In the past 4 years, I have got so much hate mail, and I'm like, if you don't like me, just like if I don't like something, people, I've become angry, but I just move on, Alcohol nitrates are chemical substances that used recreational for a high, usually during sexual activity. The prescription medication amyl nitrate can be used for chest pain.
All right.
95 for spirituous alcohol, 95%. Hooray for Google. I do Google everything as well. Skits, you do know too much. It's okay to know a lot, though. It's okay.
It's okay, and it's okay to consult Google sometimes.
Oh, I call it Google Foo. I stole it from somebody who I don't talk to anymore, but Google Foo is real. I know nothing. Google knows it all. Do you know, it shocks me when I get stuff like this that's in such pristine condition. Still to this day, I want to know all the hands that touched this sewing machine. Look how this box is from 1927. It's in pristine condition, and it still has the packing notice, the original packing notice in it.
Yeah.
When it says Inspector number 81, was he like? He was like probably like the real number 81, you know, the actual number 81.
Right. Like, yes.
People took care of things a lot more back when all those machines were being made because they were just so expensive compared to the shit that's produced today.
I agree. My grandmother didn't. She never got rid of any attachment, anything she ever had from a sewing machine ever.
And then somebody either forgot about it or knew what they had and continued to keep it in nice shape because it could have been trashed.
Oh, especially like a 97-year-old sewing machine. Like, come on, like there's so much potential for danger along the way.
Oh yeah.
When it's in that condition, no hands were touching that machine. Let me see if I can get a good angle from here to see if I could. Let me see. Boomer. I was so raised by Boomer. This proves that I was raised by Boomers because I'm like, yikes.
Right, that's why I'm like, my ugly mug is too much for the screen tonight.
Wrong camera. Oh, you're fine, Phoenix. Oh, there it is. And I'm using part of it as a. It always becomes a laundry basket.
Right.
But that machine is from 1927. Welcome to Jackass Sewing Edition. Do you know what's really funny, Kilroy? I recently watched an interview with Johnny Knoxville. You know what's so sad? I've watched him grow up since I was like 12 years old. I bought the CKY
Right.
videos. I used to buy his skate videos. Like I've literally watched him through his like teens, 20s, and 30s. And they asked him in an interview, they're like, hey, does it still hurt does it hurt more when you get hit as an adult? And he's like, it always hurts.
Right.
He's like, getting hit, like there's no way to get hit. No one was made to get slapped or beat around, you know.
Oh the godless coffee hour. You're too funny, Skits.
I would do it, but I don't think anybody would watch. So I have a question. Like, when is there too much tech? Because, and before I go off too much, my father could have started a YouTube channel. People always ask me, like, oh, where did you get that fancy microphone you have and all this fancy equipment? It's because my well-off father wanted to start a YouTube channel and went around buying equipment. But because he was an electrical engineer, he became obsessed with the equipment and less with his content. You know what I'm saying? So where's that line of like...
Yeah. When when the electrical wiring in your house can't handle it. If you're afraid of starting a fire, you might have too much.
Or you just might need to unplug your washer and dryer when you're using the stuff, like I did.
Well, because I was raised by a genius and I'm the real life Tim Allen, he rewired this room. And so they're all on, everything's on separate panels. I would like with everything that's on in this room right now, and with my air conditioner going off and on, my house would have completely shut off by now. It makes a difference when grandma's machine was tucked away in the corner under a cloth in a barn. The well-loved machines get worn and well, but the abused ones that get left behind, yeah, that's true. I still want to find one in a field and restore it. But like, let me see if I can switch my...
I can't believe those videos.
Let me see if I can switch my angle. I have 4
Oh, but that
monitors
is such.
going.
She's so pretty.
Let me see if I can.
Nope, brown coffee cup. Hey, hands.
Oh, you can't see it. You can't see it. Let me go back. But I have monitors all over this room. Like, I spent a week of hooking up half the tech. I still can't figure out how to hook up my Nintendo 64. I've bought every program emulator on earth. My Twitch channel will not exist. But where's that line of like, oh, I have too much tech or I'm just a tech junkie?
I have no clue.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, you have a request from your fan?
All right. I wasn't sure if like the flashy lights were getting my LED lights if they were getting too much. Plus,
No, you're.
my lighting.
Are you kidding? This room is ADD. My room looks like a Tijuana shop key. Like this looks like a Tijuana shop. Like if you were walking around in Mexico, they have like shirts hanging on the wall. Like
there's less
Well, at
homeless
least
dogs in your room. No.
well, at least you have the symbol of the Klingon Empire back there. So
that is my religion. If anyone ever asks me what I identify as, a Klingon.
That was so funny. The first thing Ziggy said was like, "Is that a Klingon flag?" It was like this bonding moment. It was so cute. Survivor's bias. That is a true thing. All the crappy ones from back then get turned into car frames and artillery shell decades ago. Yeah.
True. I don't know. I have healthy habits, so I'm not out causing any trouble. I haven't had a sip of alcohol like in 12 years. I'm not out causing mayhem. I'm just running a 25-foot HDMI cord for no reason at 3:30 in the morning. Not hurting anybody. Though I shudder when I think about some of the things people think are junk and throw away.
Yeah.
Well, as an avid real life junk collector, I agree as well.
I wonder, I think it's going to be too much like with all of this central currency digital banking and like the debanking of people. That's going to be too much. Or if I think there's a line of how comfortable you are with everybody knowing your business versus like this controlled, like people know my business, but I try to curate it sort of. Except for when shit happens and I can't.
How would you feel though? Like, it's different because I know this person, but like last week I walked into Rooster's Relic and he was like, "What's up, Godless Sewing?" And it caught me off guard because that's not my name. Hey, Skids!
Hey! How are you?
But he identified me as Godless Sewing, and I was like, "Where's Godless Sewing?" I was like, "Who's that?" It took me a minute, you know.
Who's that? No, I think I would prefer people use my. I like my chosen name. Not that I don't hate my real name, but
Yeah, I actually met up with a few people on my birthday that I stream with and hang out with online, and one of them introduced me to their daughter, and they're like, "And this is Skits." I'm like, "You can call me my real name."
I always lead.
And I'm like, "No, thanks. You could just call me Skits."
Yeah. It's weird. I always lead with William because people expect my name to be like Annihilator or something crazy they can't pronounce. I'm like, no, my name's William. Hi, nice to meet you.
Annihilator. I like that.
Vengeance upon you all.
Will be the name of my next child, which I won't be having anytime soon. Vengeance.
Which, if it hadn't been snipped, could have been last year, but no.
No, there's a cutoff. Like my pops, I was 42 when my father was born. Like you don't want to be that age and have kids. Who recently was it? Was it like Michael Douglas? Not Michael Douglas. It was somebody else had a kid at 70 something. And I think that's unfair.
Oh,
Jesus
Robert
Christ.
De Niro and whoever, they were John, somebody else. Yeah, they were like almost 80. No,
My,
80 plus. Come on, Loki, be cute. Don't just steal treats off my
my
computer.
mom had my brother
Your
and
fans wanna
I
see your
when
face.
we were when she was 40.
Mm-hmm. I have a brother who is,
Taco, 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 taco.
I think, 22 years older than me. I have another brother that's like 14. I have another brother that's like 17 years older than me. I could technically be their, well, the one that's 22, I could technically be his kid. And his daughter's a year younger than me. It's weird coming from being the youngest in a really old family. And yes, I said they're all old.
Loki, your fans know who you are and they're saying hello to you. Your fans say hello.
So, Skids, how's your sewing adventures going?
Okay. I mean, I haven't had a lot of time, unfortunately, to dedicate to it. I have mended a few things and helped somebody actually fix some drapes the other day, as a matter of fact. But
Awesome.
unfortunately, I haven't done any more teddy bears yet.
It's okay. Sewing is a lifelong habit. When you join that gang, you can never leave.
No, you'll be stuck. You'll be
Just
stuck.
like LA. Can you leave LA because there's some magical force keeping you here? No, it's traffic, right?
Yeah. I keep on moving back here and I don't know why. This was the last time though. This will be the last time.
Mamacita's still there, and
I'm biased. Honestly, I'm biased towards warm weather places because I'm a desert dweller.
Fair
And
enough.
living in Portland for 3 years, like I'll never forget the fourth winter. I was wearing, I want to say 6 layers of clothes. I'm standing waiting for the bus, and the wind whipped through my clothes. I was like, I'm going back to Southern California. I am leaving.
yeah, that's too cold. Yeah.
I just thought I didn't think I was gonna make it another winter, and I left. And you know what? I miss Portland, Oregon, but the place I lived doesn't exist anymore.
No.
Well,
No, but now
places
Portland's just
change.
like LA. Oh, sorry, Commander.
Places change. South Florida, when I left South Florida, it was still inhabited by the remainder of the greatest generation, and now it's inhabited by their entitled children riding golf carts with little red hats screaming racial slurs. So
Waterne, the only rule in the Gang of Sewing is love for sewing. That's it.
Right.
There's no handshakes, no Dakota rings, no songs.
No, but it's
First
still
rule
a
of Sew Club.
needle.
Do you know what's really funny? I'm so glad that I never got that tattooed. Let's have a real talk. 20-something years ago, I was an angry kid who moved to Hollywood, and I worked at a tattoo shop. I'm actually a certified piercer. And I will never forget the Samoan gangster gentleman who told me I was going to get Trust No B tattooed across my back because I was really angry. And he looked at me and he was covered in tattoos. He said, bro, you will not feel like this 20 years from now. And I don't. So I thank him for talking
Thank
me
that
out
guy.
of it. I was going to get covered and I could have got him for free. I didn't get one tattoo. He told me, he's like, if that's your thing, I'll give you a tattoo for free. Come back. And I never did.
Wow.
He still works there. He's still there.
Obviously talented.
Oh, if you to
Fair.
work
Well,
on Hollywood Boulevard, you have to be. That's a good movie though. Do the Right Thing. If you're bored, it's so sad that message still goes to this very day.
mhm.
But they say a lot of racial. It's a Spike Lee movie, so every racial slur you could think of is in that movie. So be careful.
No,
Every
but was
working
that the one
N-bomb.
that was set in New York City during that heat wave?
Yeah.
So it's Right. It's such a story of the time and what heat does to people and how you're just nasty.
Oh, it's such a good movie. That is such a good movie. Well, if you have a late 1950s FOF, you have a decoder ring with the stitch selector.
Right? Exactly. I know this is what I was talking about yesterday. That other channel, they had that cute faff with the decoder ring, and I was like, wouldn't it be amazing? I would still like to do this stream with somebody. I just have my Singer and the cams, but can we do a head-to-head on the faff and the dial-a-stitch and my machine? Who has it who can do this stream with me?
I just think of like decoder rings. I like think eat your Ovaltine.
Drink your
Damn
Ovaltine,
right.
kid.
I will have to try to find a render I did of a sunny side egg with a smile on it and send it to you. I was just thinking about that when you were talking about New York, because when it gets real hot in New York City, you can cook eggs on the sidewalk.
Oh, yep. We can do that here too.
I'm actually
It's
shocked
just
that
a little
we
bit
have
more
it.
dry because there's not as much humidity.
I'm such a boomer.
Oh my
I'm
god,
actually
there's a
shocked.
machine that Allie doesn't have.
Here we go.
I remember when I was in Iraq, we were able to cook our ramen just by leaving our water out in the sun.
Good grief.
Right.
What was the average temperature?
Must have been hell.
It was like when we first landed. I love telling this story. When we first landed, right? We were getting off the aircraft. It was behind it was a C5, and we had the prop the jet wash blowing on us. It's so hot, and we're like, man, we can't wait to just get away from this jet to cool down. And the jet kind of moves away from us, and it got hotter, and we're like, oh god, the jet wash was cooling us down. Like it was like 120. We got there 125. It was awful.
Do you know what's so funny? The hottest I've ever been is like 115. And I really didn't feel it, but I had to turn the air conditioner off in my car and everything. But when I got home, my arm was a different color because I had it out the window. It was literally like so brown, it was unrecognizable.
We got intelligence one time that because we're out there in the sun all the time, we're sweating our butts off, and you just get salty and nasty. Well, we got intelligence that the local nationals thought that our body armor was refrigerated, and they thought that was frost coming off of us, and we were just doing a-okay out there.
No, that's your body is literally giving you a sign like, hey guy, hey, we're dying here.
We're dying.
So you're gonna have a secret handshake? No,
Right. You have to sew your own apron though.
And I don't care. Like, I'm not a conspiracy theory person, but every person I've ever met with a Mason ring is a creep. And if you have one, I want to meet you if you're not one. But every person I've ever met, no, because you always say like, "Oh, how do you join?" They'll be like, "You just started. Get out of here with your like cryptic talk." I'm not a Mason fan at all.
Yeah, organizations that you have to be invited to, like it just seems, yeah. Like I belong to like a lot of organizations, but nothing like Shriners or Masons or anything like that.
We should have our custom-made chatelaines. And if you don't know what that is, look it up. Or Allie will tell us in a minute.
I was actually relatively recently. I was invited to join the Elks, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting." They do a lot of stuff for veterans, so I was considering it. But like just like many other organizations out there, one of their prerequisites is you have to believe in a higher being. And I'm like, sorry, bud, I'm out.
I actually know quite a few people that are Elks, and they're part of all the people that moved from California to Texas and Tennessee because they got radicalized in their lodge and they moved. Almost every single one of them.
What about
Look, I don't care. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Phoenix.
I was going to say, what about the Moose Club?
Is there a
Who's
difference?
moose anymore?
Right? Like, when's the last time you saw a moose?
Like my church,
grandpa.
the church that the church I was baptized in. Oh gosh, my son wants to start going to church.
Oh no.
Anyways, the church that I was baptized in, they have a Knights of Columbus, which is an all Italian organization. It's nothing but people from Thailand and for the Philippines.
Really?
Really?
Interesting.
To the point. My neighbor across the street is actually one of the head people, and he's from Thailand.
Yeah. I like the Odd Fellows. They're an interesting organization. They're quite odd.
I'm going to go with the Groucho Marx. I don't want to be a part of any club that would want me as a member.
Thank you.
Or Harpo. I'm not one of the Marxes.
I'm a Groucho.
Probably Groucho. Yeah.
You just gave me a funny idea.
Go on,
Gilroy.
The Order of the Penguins. You don't have to believe in any higher power, but you can if you want. And it's, because they run the world, right? Because of the flat earthers and the guarding of the ice wall. And I'm sorry. That
Oh,
just popped
please
into
go
my
up.
head.
You're in the right place.
By the way, I'd like to mention how much I really like your videos, Commander. Not just the style, but the actual content themselves.
Your animation is literally like 10 steps above the average person.
It's so good.
Only because I've been in ham radio clubs, and it's pretty obvious why I'm in one of those. I'm anti. Like, even with my son wanting to go to church, the father in me is like, oh, I'll take you anywhere. We'll go do anything. And then Godless Sewing is like, you have to get up early in the morning and wear decent clothes and go pretend. But I'm going to walk in and tell people, my son has ASD. He wants to go to this place, and I'm an atheist. Entertain us.
Yeah.
Do your. I'll throw a 20
cookies
in
and coffee afterwards. I'll stay.
No, they'll like me. I know that churches are a business. I'll throw a 20. I'll throw a 50 spot in there. Like, I'm not tripping. I know your church is a business. They'll love me. the handshake substitute.
Wait, and it gives him exposure.
What's that?
I was going to say it just gives him exposure. Oh, and Skits, I'm not talking. It's your turn.
I was when I became a born again Christian. One of the big things that all the essentially non-denominational, but it's your first time, they'd give you a free mug. So I started going to like different new churches each time and had like this collection of all like the churches of Fayetteville, all the different mugs.
Oh, don't tell me that. I love free stuff. I am the king.
Free mugs and free coffee. It was great.
I go crazy at business expos. Like in my town, people will nudge each other and be like, all right, get a whole bag ready for this guy. He spends money. I'm known at business expos. They hook me up. They know I love swag.
Cool swag.
What people used to call swag was the free stuff they give you.
I still call, I do outreach, so I like, here, have some swag, and people are like, what? Promotional items.
I thought they called it swag.
Swag. I call it swag.
With my heavy tongue, it all sounds the same. Swag.
I just got some new dental work, so my realization is not great.
Tomato.
Skits is not reverting. He was speaking past tense.
Past tense, yeah.
I actually leaned in heavy to Christianity as a coping mechanism. After I get back from Iraq and Hurricane Katrina, I needed something, and I used it for that. And after I got out and realized, man, I should be seeing a counselor and not just some random church people, and that helped a lot more. But it served a purpose.
I think that's the reason why I'm going to go with my son to church, because I have my logic goggles on. You're not gonna send me any fairy tales. You're not gonna we're not joining anything. You're not seeing my W-2s.
Right. isn't there a difference between needing to have belief in a higher power and having a spiritual practice where you're like, nature's amazing or technology's amazing, that you're like in awe of it? That's not doesn't need to be dogma based, but how you interact with your surroundings. That's like, I just feel joy and gratefulness.
Every time I'm at work and the sun comes over the mountain, I grab my coffee and a J and I appreciate the sunrise every morning. I don't know if that's praying. I don't know what that is, but it's like because I'm not in the country.
I'd go with spiritual practice. That's not religious, and they're different. You can be. You don't need to have a God to be like, I appreciate you, son.
Yeah. And I'm not a spiritual person, but I appreciate nature. That and the gibbons go off when the sun comes up. There's a gibbons farm, like I want to say half a mile away. You can hear those. Man, gibbons don't play, and they're scary big. Like I've gone up to their cage. Gibbons are huge, and they work out because they're doing this all day. They're swinging, so they work out.
I have an appreciation for what Thomas Paine wrote in his book, The Age of Reason, regarding his religious beliefs or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it justice by repeating it from memory, but y'all have to go and look at it. It was the, I guess, the purest form of monotheism that I have ever come into contact with, but yet it was like I reject the doctrines of all the established religions of the earth, because what was revelation to the prophet is indeed revelation, but to him only, and hearsay to all the others. But it was like stripping everything down to, and I can't do it justice. Basically, true religion is learning about how creation works, i.e. science, and then trying to use that knowledge to better the mankind. I know science is not religion in any way, but Pain existed at a time when that line was very blurry.
I agree. Do you know? I don't even know if
because gunpowder was magical.
I used to surf a lot, and one thing I miss is because I'm from the West Coast, is being in the ocean and seeing the sun rise over the mountains in the morning, because you get up early to go surfing, just like work. I don't know. I'm not a spiritual person, but I was always in awe of nature,
Yeah.
It does have its beauty. And then when the praying mantis is eating the head of its mate, you realize that
I'm an nihilist.
if either there is no God or he has a sick sense of humor.
I think that's still beautiful. I think you're like, suck it.
I am nature. You're scary.
Like, so we give things meaning. Like when I get in arguments with people, that's why I'm not a good debate me bro person, because I'll always just go back to like, we give like all of this meaning. So what, if you want to pray to your hockey trophy, if you want to, like, it's not my business,
Or your same old dirty socks every day because it's your lucky charm. Sorry.
Was that, Commander?
Just as long as you don't pray to a golden statue of Trump.
There's quite a few. Oh gosh, that reminds me, we're getting back to I was gonna go off about my picture that I took of an empty building that Skits and Phoenix are probably like, why did he put a picture of an empty building in here? So how do you guys feel about gentrification?
I think it sucks.
Where else am I gonna get my latte?
They have
thread my needle.
And you know what's funny? As a last ditch effort, I even put a bid in. This was an old $2 movie theater that was in my town for as long as I could remember. You would get for $2.50. You could watch 2 movies. And it got torn down. And I put this on Facebook, and half of my town is freaking out. And I'm like, where were you guys? If y'all cared, they wouldn't have torn down our history. Like this is in my town. It's history. I had a friend who owned his grandfather owned this. So another friend of mine, we have investment in this because our childhood was in this building. Like there was one time when I first started smoking weed, we were delinquents, we were children, but we were smoking upstairs in the projection room. And this man was watching a movie and he looks up and he sees smoke coming out of the projection room. So he calls the fire department. And because the fire department evacuated my friend who worked there, he wasn't able to tell us upstairs, like, hey, the fire department's going to come in.
Oh, no.
So we're these 14-year-old, 15-year-old kids smoking, and the fire department comes in. And you know what, though? The fire department guy took one look at us and was like, nothing to see here. And had all the guys back up. My friend still to this day said he almost peed on himself, which means that he probably did. We were these just suburban kids, you know, and so they kind of tore down like that building. I spent my 16th birthday on top of that building with my friends drinking Mickey 40s. Like it's
right,
sad.
like you made out with your first human there. You're like all these fancy memories.
Oh, Winnie Cooper and I hung out there a lot. Winnie Cooper and I, this is my version of Harper's Woods right here. Like, it's sad. It's like my childhood is torn down. It's really sad. And my old arse was going to the grocery store. I pulled over. I walked on the construction site like I owned the place. I didn't get too close because I know Cal State OSHA rules, but I stood far enough away where I could take a decent picture. But, you know, it's sad.
Oh, Loki, what are you?
It's sad. How do you feel about gentrification, Skids?
I mean, unfortunately, it's just gonna happen. Like, you're not gonna be able to keep, low income places and old places and everything like that around forever. They can try, like with San Francisco, but it's inevitably going to happen. Like people with money will come in and buy everything from all the poor people and do whatever the fuck they want with it.
That creates a problem where by the time I left South Florida, they were basically busing people into the Keys to work because no one could afford to live there. Mm-hmm. People were, you know how they're whining and they're screaming, no one wants to work anymore. Well, that's because no one can afford to live near the jobs anymore. And when I started working, I was looking at being able to buy a house. And then they said, let's get rid of all the lending laws that we had in America during the deepest, darkest days of the Cold War. Because those lending laws are communism. So basically, since there was no place left to build, we had built out to the limits, and you allowed people to borrow 3, 4, 5 times the amount of money they could have borrowed before. Everything cost 3, 4, 5 times the amount that it did. Wages didn't go up, but you basically said reverse amortization means no one, unless you're independently wealthy, can own anything anymore. And it's never gone back to normal since. My mom got pre-approved for a $480,000 mortgage back in the 2000s. She never cashed in the promissory note, but she was on Social Security disability and could never afford it. So that's probably how they jacked up the real estate prices in the beginning. And then anyone with equity just coasted with it. But cost of living crisis.
That's for sure.
Of course, I'm muted and talking to a muted microphone. Boomer, raised by boomers.
Boomer.
I know the owner of the building, and I know the person who he passed it on to, and it's just sad. And the person he passed it on to was from Africa, so he had no connection to my community because he wasn't raised here. And that's not a kick on anyone who comes in to buy anything. Like I literally bought patches from a Norwegian shop the other day. That's not the problem, you know. But those people, the Norwegian people, understand the neighborhood. And they have all the local band patches and everything because they understand these people do not understand my neighborhood. And they're going to put a Dollar Tree there.
That really sucks.
And it was a movie theater where basically they would show all the movies. Like, Netflix killed the industry, and it killed places like this movie theater because they would show all the old movies. Like, if it was out 6 months ago, they were showing it for $2.
I'd still go and see it.
You're muted, Phoenix. I do the same thing. I do the same thing all
Boomer.
the time.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I hate to sit in movie theaters because they're uncomfortable and my feet don't touch the ground, and I'd rather be in my own space with my pussycats. But that's just me, where I can sew and do whatever I want while I watch a movie and not it be in some random dark hole.
Me unmute myself. No, I agree. Like, Netflix destroyed the movie industry for me because I could sit in my house and smoke. I could sit like that was the first thing. This room originally was my father and I turned this into a bar about 15 years ago. And we would sit in here and just watch movies. We had surround sound, and that's when Netflix killed the movie industry because people like us could watch movies at home now, you know?
See, dude, it didn't kill it. It just made it. We got to choose our own experience.
And I'd rather be able to pause the movie and be able to take a pee break and stretch my legs and walk around.
Smoke a blunt while watching it.
Exactly. Do you know what's really funny? I every time I watch The Hobbit, there's and I'm sorry, not The Hobbit, the second one, the Bilbo Baggins one. I literally have it right here.
What's the Lord of the Rings?
An Unexpected Journey.
Okay.
The one with Bilbo Baggins when they go back with Smoke,
Yes.
the dragon. That first movie, my ex-girlfriend and I, the Norwegian one, we walked out. We missed a good 45 minutes because she was like, I have anxiety. We need to walk out right now. We ate a hot dog, smoked cigarettes, smoked a J, and then came back, you know.
Right. There is some mismatchment in with fire stuff, but that's not a everybody problem. Yeah. I need a theater with recliners.
Portland, Oregon. I saw The Big Lebowski, Casablanca, whichever movie with is what's his name's running from the train. I mean from the plane. I can't remember now because I've been smoking too much. But they
See, that doesn't make sense. Human, come help me.
Portland, in Portland, they had this basically this really rich guy. Hey, Butterfly, he bought a movie theater out and he started showing old time movies. And for someone like me, like I had never seen Casablanca in the movie theater. It was an experience. But when I lived in Portland, you could still smoke inside. So that was forever ago.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that were forever ago.
Oh, and there was a movie theater in Beaverton. I doubt it exists anymore, but you could drink and smoke inside.
What?
You could imagine what that place smelled
Stop
like.
lying to me about such shenanigans.
I was in a bowling league. It had a hockey league next to it. It was like, right. I'll go get a map. Oh yeah, those were good times.
Did they have axe throwing too? That's something that sounds like fun. I'd like to do some plate throwing and some plate breaking and axe throwing, please. Hey, Butterfly.
I miss Oregon. That was like my second hockey league with actual like ice and skates.
It's funny that you mentioned that though, Phoenix. My friend, I took her out on her last birthday, axe throwing, and afterwards I let her go into a rage room and bust everything up after hitting stuff with axes. Very, very cathartic.
Right.
Oh, I forgot you're really tall, Killer. I've got the opposite.
Yep,
problem.
we've got giants and midgets here. This is like Iceland. This is how they have the Norse mythos, because there's congenitally short humans and literal giants. They're like, it's too much. Yeah. I thought you said you were going to be helpful. One of these comments you saw said it was going to be helpful to me, and you've not been helpful yet. Are you listening?
Matter of fact, I miss Beaverton, Oregon. Shout out to Beaverton. They did not. You could smoke inside. They did all kinds of stuff that's considered a health hazard, even by standards back then. I was in a real life beer league where people were drinking beer. Like I was in full gear. People were handing me beers. They're like, "Here, bro." Oh man, I would literally be dehydrated and pass out now if I did that. So let's see what else. Today's National Kitten Day. Pina Colada Day.
You like pina coladas?
Not in the rain. If you're not into man, I used to do karaoke. I can't sing. I'm all nose, and I would go up there and sing. Alcohol lies to you. It makes you think. You can sing, you can fight, you can dance. I think it's perfectly timed, and I'm so happy I haven't found a stitch out yet. But I go to bed if a stitch. Awesome. Let's see. Oh, National Caleb Day. I wrote that down because I have yet to meet someone that's named Caleb that isn't a complete megalomaniac. So impress me, Caleb. Impress me. Oh, today
I've never met anybody named Caleb. I'm not moving anymore. The battery on my Apple phone is dead. So.
Oh, it's okay. I can still hear you. The mouse moving.
Oh, don't make me text you, human.
Today is also National Blueberry Day. Okay. So I know I seem like an extremely unhealthy person, but I'm not. And one of the reasons I'm still alive is because I eat blueberries raw. Like they're candy.
I'm having the best blueberry harvest ever this year. I cannot believe it. The deer stayed away. The birds stayed away. I actually have some in the freezer.
Oh, that's hilarious. I ordered a virgin pina colada from a bar at a restaurant in the Virgin Islands. The bartender looked at me like I was nuts.
We don't do virgins around here.
That's like in the 90s when you'd order certain things in Mexico, they would be like, "This isn't Taco Bell. Pronounce it properly."
It's Taco Hell, Bihaz.
The first satellite was launched today in 1962 in the Bahamas, gained independence in 1973. Oh, Kilroy, I almost got there. I almost got to the Bahamas. I didn't know about the Telestar. When I'm going through these, if I can't pronounce it or if it's too like political or military, I'll skip past it if it's not my country. If it's like Independence Day for blah, 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 like, well, good for you. I put organic blueberries in my smoothies. I'm kind of country where I eat them just kind of raw. I'm super country that way.
Right, I just pick them off the bush and stuff them in my face because blueberries are yummy.
Absolutely.
Fatty strawberries this year. Oh my god, they were so fatty.
Strawberries were so great.
We go cherry picking as well, but like I picked 10 pounds one year and ate it, and it kind of ruined me.
Blueberries, don't forget the blueberries.
Okay, I'm muting myself for a second here.
Skits, have you ever had 10 pounds of cherries?
Yeah, I've had eaten way too many before and never regretted it.
Right, because then you shit for days.
Just thinking of it makes me kind of physically ill because I was so bored. I'm like, oh, these are so good. These are so good. I just couldn't stop eating them. Like, oh.
It's actually funny that you mentioned that. Just the other day, just yesterday, I picked up a big old thing of cherries from Trader Joe's. And I sat down and killed like 2 pounds of them bad boys.
They're so good. They are. They're so good. I love this butterfly. Fresh blueberries make for great blue teeth. So true. So true. Do you know when I was trying to get my son to eat healthy, which backfired because now he's like a health freak. I would like test out everything. And one day I was like, I would fake it. I'm like, oh, eat this okra. It's great. And I'd eat it and be like, oh, it's great. Eat this. It's great. Oh, eat this tuber. It's great. I started popping blueberries. I was like, man, I forgot about these. I forgot about blueberries.
If okra's prepared right, it's not all slimy and gross. Do not let your bad preparation. I see you skits. You're like, oh no, I can't. I'm a terrible YouTuber. You're over. You're in all the way this way. No, this way. It's backwards.
I still mess it up. I still mess up my left from right.
What? No, okra's not always terrible. And deep
Yes, it
fried
is.
is never bad.
Always bad.
You know
This Pop and
something.
Sherry in the house.
Do you know something that I okay, Commander, I know how that is. Do you know something that I still eat to this day that I didn't think was gross as a kid? I'm obsessed with artichokes.
I love artichokes.
They are good.
I'm
See,
obsessed
but how's
with
that
them.
differently slimy than okra?
When's
You don't even want to know how I
thistle?
eat.
Oh, right. I forgot the butter and mayonnaise.
I bet it's a shit ton of mayonnaise.
I put ranch dressing on mine.
Oh, dude,
Interesting.
you are disgusting. You
I
heathen.
do.
Get out of here.
Okay, good. I'll leave my own streak. I do. You know, it's really funny. When I was a kid, Linda, the woman I always talk about, the woman I'm in the sewing circle with. Linda's such a good person. She's in her 70s. She's the one who introduced me to ranch because she knew I wasn't going to touch an artichoke. And still to this day, I eat artichokes with Hidden Valley Ranch. Still to this day. She probably fed that to me 30-something years ago.
Oh, God. No, but the olive cured artichokes. Wow. Okay. Hopefully we don't have a no yelling with the all caps. No,
We
nobody
have
said in the
officially-
chat that all caps was terrible. Dove.
I haven't been that passionate lately to type in all caps.
This human very, very much likes pickled things and pickled okra. When's the last time you bought me pickled okra, human?
Okay, but I have a question though. Will you eat pickled pig's feet?
I've never had the opportunity.
I grew up around old timey humans.
Yeah, I've eaten some interesting things. It's probably just gelatinous and goopy. It probably has the same texture as okra, which is funny because I like okra, but the thought of that gelatinous meat goopiness is more gross to me than vegetable goopiness.
Do you know what's really funny? I grew up eating weird things. I love anchovies. I love
Yes, I have a tin of them in my
pickled
cupboard.
pig feet. I will literally run. Just opening
Pickled
the
beets, pickled
jar.
eggs. Like
I got a
like
jar
lot
of pickled eggs in my
things.
fridge.
What was that?
So I got a big old. I'm sorry. Got a big old jar of pickled eggs in my fridge.
Who has? Are the beet colored ones or the normal colored ones?
Normal.
Oh, Ethan. They're so much prettier when they're red.
I might have to go check on Mr. Sewing in a minute. He's a little too quiet.
All right, I can hold the fort down for a second if everybody's gonna leave me.
I get a call from Marquette yesterday, and he's like, "Prepare for your son to show up a different shade." Oh, those are. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. It has been a while since you've eaten pickled eggs. I know. Or
I enjoy
pickled
whatever I
pig's feet.
can that has jalapenos in it while my stomach is still able to handle it.
Yeah.
I'm Black and Mexican. Like, it's not food if it doesn't have like some sort of spice in it. Like,
Yeah.
but if anyone's wondering, I love spicy food, but I'll never touch that chip, that really hot chip that I don't understand why people buy it.
Oh, the one where you just get a single one in the package and it's the challenge everywhere.
I'm all about wasting money, but come on.
When the box it comes in looks like a casket, not a good sign.
No, but wouldn't
Like a
that
smart
be
car?
funny to do? We should do it. We can't do it while I'm sewing linen and hand stitching. But wouldn't it be fun to do on stream just once?
I am a wuss when it comes to spice.
The only reason I'm scared is for chemical reaction. I need someone with an EpiPen like standing over me, like.
Well, we'll just have to wait till Hans is home. We'll do it on my stream, not your stream, in case you need some. Oh.
I'm allergic to anything, but I'll never learn the lesson because, like, I still eat Indian food. Something in it makes me break out. I still eat it. Like, I'm not supposed to drink milk. I'm obsessed with cheese. Like, let's be real. I eat all kinds of things I'm not supposed to. I've got my third jalapeno.
Sweet. I have quite a few cayenne peppers growing outside. They're long and green, but they haven't turned red yet. So yes, the one chip challenge, stupid. Probably, I know it's, but I do like spicy things.
The only reason I say that is because I see people like myself who grew up eating spicy food. Like, I'm not scared of spicy food. They go on these shows and they pass out. And I'm like,
yeah,
nope,
because they're pussies.
no, but these are people who grew up like in my culture. I eat spicy food, and it trips me out when I see people who grew up like I did, because I grew up like more on the Hispanic side, and they can't handle it.
This is
Okay, but oh, you guys don't want to see that. I get like
no. I feel like this is
umpire,
that's kind of
love that.
bordering on like the tubers who like have a super chat minimum for X amount for like you pay me this much money and I'll do a shot or something. I'm like, good night. Allie.
Oh, Alibaba, have a great night.
Night.
We'll see you next week.
Dream of sweet sounding sewing machines.
We'll keep the lights on for you, as the old commercial says. Is that Motel 6? We'll keep the lights on for you.
Yes, I think so. But yeah, I don't like the like paying for shots or like paying for stupid. Like if I make a bad decision, that's on me. But I don't need other people to encourage me to make poor life choices.
Excuse me, so tall. I stood on the bottom of the step, just a few inches up, with a different perspective. Was still only the height of godless, though.
Only one step. Oh my god! I need to be on the whole the whole ladder.
Yay! Have a great night, Ollie. 5 cheese baked ziti. See, this is the kind of stuff I eat, and I'm not supposed to eat any of it. I'm not supposed to eat any of it. I was told,
Now
like,
I'm
oh,
hungry.
this is we have now entered the food portion of the stream.
Right? It was gonna happen eventually.
But I was told, like, you're lactose intolerant. You can't drink milk. Keep in mind, up until that point, I had replaced milk with water. Like, when because I tell people,
So
I
now
didn't
that you can't do it, you're like, bring it on.
I didn't drink soda until I was 25 because I was raised so strict by my parents. Which does not justify my soda drinking habit. Be careful. Be careful. Which reminds me, I'm about to get up and go get my bougie bottled
Like,
soda.
I
You know what's so funny? I forgot I had my garage door half open. My neighbors, like, man, they're getting a show too right now. Live studio audience. I love jalapenos as well, Butterfly. They're like an absolute love of mine. I'm the geek who like orders jalapeno burgers at restaurants. I was on a stream where the guy would do a shot if you donated $2. I had so much fun. We had a hangover for 2 weeks. That's awesome.
Yeah, see, no, I'm tiny and I know how much I can handle. I'd have no. It would have to be buco bucks. It's not saying I don't imbibe, but I don't need people to pay me to make poor choices.
I mean, it doesn't hurt.
I was just about to
No,
say.
but it's at least 500 to 1,000. Like I can't. No.
Skits, you just show that you're from California because you're for sale. We're all for sale. We're all for. I get it. I'm for sale too.
Shoot.
If you
I show up, you can, Rumble. You don't need to Rumble. You if you felt compelled to donate to this mischief, Rumble, you can do that. Everybody's monetized. There's none of this bullshit, but we don't want your money because we just like you for you.
Do you know what's though? If I ate edibles, because Kilroy got me with that edibles thing. If I ate edibles, like I just get annoyingly lovey. I get like, oh, I love you. Oh, like I get weirdly hippie huggy. It's not like, or like I'll just get quiet.
So you need enough cotton velour or poly velour to like rub your fabric that night. So you're like, I love you, fabric.
I'm so ADD. Like when I eat edibles, it just calms me down. Really.
Just straight up weed pills.
Oh,
That's
wow.
not an experience.
I've taken Marinol. Is that Marinol? Well, yeah, it's all Marinol.
But essentially, right? It's got to be.
Great.
I've taken that. One of the Commander, are you still there?
She went to go get some food earlier, I think.
Yes.
Oh,
Dreaming of
The Carl's Jr. and the McDonald's ones are actually good. I've had both.
Neither.
But be careful with the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we did walk around for an extra half an hour to Ross where I got that mug cup. Where's my new cup? I should drink some water. 30 ounces of straw goodness. And Best Buy to wait till the Chinese buffet to open on Friday. You're like, it's supposed to open at 11. You're like, you mean we have to wait till 11:30? It's terrible. Clickety clickety.
Do you know my son and I, we have our own bathrooms. Do you know, I don't think we could coexist if we had to share a bathroom. I don't know if we could coexist in the same house.
What locks are we playing with over here?
I'm learning how to pick locks. So it's like,
so it's a practice, a different skill to practice.
Thank you.
yeah, it's a see-through lock, so you can see the pins and the tumblers and everything like that.
Oh, so you're literally learning how to pick locks.
Yeah.
Okay, so fun fact, master all of those keys, like all of those brands, they're literally keyed to the same key. So if you look at the number, if you have that number, you can unlock any key.
Hello.
Yes, unlocking under keys.
Under lock and keys.
We now know what Skits' new profession is.
Right, when they're not learning how to sew well enough, they're pretending to pick locks.
Well, when the Van Gogh goes missing.
As long as we don't pour Campbell's soup and glue ourselves to the frame.
I've seen this movie. Pierce Brosnan takes the art. I've seen that movie. My friend makes, what is that?
Cannon Binong?
Oh, Cannon. Cannabis eggnog. Like eggnog.
Interesting.
Do you know what's so funny? Around here, and this is no offense to anyone from Oregon, we always say that's some Oregon kind of stuff. Because in California, like all the THC tea comes from Oregon. All like the hippie drinks and stuff, they come from Oregon. Because the people in California are like, we want to smoke it. But in Oregon, they're brewing it.
Well, we grow good hops here too. You know, you use all your natural resources, and they're in the same family, so you know.
Oh, Skidney.
Exactly. Skid says you look too. Sydney says Skits, you look too skinny. That was a lot of alliteration. Hello, Rock.
Hey, it's a beautiful purple gas, bud.
Oh, that was not a rock.
No. Looks too skinny. Well, thank you. I've lost a fair amount of weight. But too skinny? I don't know.
No, right. We're closer to making tape and getting into our weight class.
Right. I'm still like 30 pounds overweight according to the BMI.
Same here. Welcome, fatty. Welcome, Gordo.
I come from a long line of body shamers, so
it just
be
comes
happy
naturally.
with the skin you're in, you know. If the Canadians burn fields of wheat and the smoke blows across the border, is that international smuggling?
Sounds like a party.
I would be standing on a roof with a sign that said, "Thank you, thank you."
Speaking of Canada, I just find it weird that like Toronto has a baseball team in the major leagues.
They've had one forever.
I know, but isn't that weird though? Like the rest of them are United States cities and everything, and then you got Toronto.
But we also used to have Montreal as well. When we were kids, there was a Montreal Expos. The
Expos. That's right.
They were around forever. Dennis Martinez is one of the greatest pitchers of all times, and he played for the Expos. Where the gang members in LA have kept that hat alive because they adopted the colors. One of the greatest World Series ever was Joe Carter hitting the home run off of Mitch Williams. I believe it's 1992 or 1993. the Toronto Blue Jays won the World Series, and to see an American-born player when they did their championship, like it was one of the greatest home runs ever. But when they brought the championship trophy into the stadium, he came with a giant Canadian flag. Joe Carter is loved in Canada. I'd move there. You know what, Sydney? I'm skinny and I'm considered fat by my BMI. BMI is yuck.
Oh,
I
it's not
agree.
just an abuse. The whole way it started was dumb, but he's talking about this thing. He's making holiday plans already. I see.
My weight fluctuates as well. Like it goes up and down. Like even this vest, it makes me laugh. Like I said in that video 2 years ago when I woke up mad one day and made a video, you could clearly see that the vest is closed. I can't sit here too long with this thing closed without my stomach popping it open now.
You got the button popping closer.
Times have changed. So no judgment here in the House of Sewing.
No, but that's where it's so. I think I'm just gonna make clothes with ties because the height needs to fit, but the waist needs to sometimes fluctuate. So why make stuff in a fixed size? I think I'm kind of getting over fixed size clothing.
I use elastic in a lot of my stuff. And that's not even a secret. Have you ever seen me not wearing a belt in something I made? There is elastic in there because my weight goes up and down so much.
Do not sew your fingers to your fabric again.
Again.
I did it once this stream.
Is that like note to self? Note to self.
I felt it super close. I'm like, oh, you're kind of getting close there, kid.
I just remembered something that is so filthy I can't even say it on stream. But if you remind me later, I'll tell you what it is. But it involves my drapes, which are excellent, by the way. It's cut out the heat in my kitchen. Like my kitchen was almost uninhabitable because I have giant windows on all sides and I have blackout drapes. But the second I put the drapes above my what do you call that? A breakfast nook? It's like a nook. It's an extension out from my house. It's a giant window.
Mm-hmm.
But once I finally covered that up, it's really cut the heat down.
Yeah, that's what I got. Dark curtains because I got a westerly facing window, and man, does it cook in the summertime in here.
The thing for me that is I don't care for elastic, and the huge baggy clothes that would have room for fluctuations don't flatter me. It depends on what it is. Like my weight goes up and down so much. It like I have certain clothes like, oh, I can't wear this, but I guarantee I'll be able to wear it in 6 months.
Yeah, I'm torn about this too because I'm torn between comfortable things, but very tailored and nice fitting things. And I haven't found the way that they both meet up nicely for me all the time.
It really depends. See, but I dress like a 1920s wino or like a 1980s biker. Like it depends on the day. But I prefer that like that baggy, can you spare a dime look. I love that Paddington Bear look.
I feel like so. Oh God!
I always feel somebody sewing me.
That was good.
Oh, here we go. You know, shout out to Waternay. Like, if it wasn't for you putting that song in my head months ago, that whole video would not have happened. Oh, that reminds me. What part of my video is blocked? Can anyone tell me? YouTube. At first, normally I would have ripped the video down, but YouTube, when I uploaded it, it said video is partially blocked.
Oh, is it do you have any like copyrighted music or whatnot on it, or?
That's why on my other channel I posted the song because they copyright strike you while processing now. While processing, they'll tell you like, "Hey, bro, you violate jail. You're going to jail, YouTube jail." You know, and And now I have to finish this featherweight. I'll see you, House of Sewing peeps, next week. Have a great week, Butterfly. Good to see you as always. But it said my video is partially blocked. But I was like, just post it anyways. But everybody's commenting on the video. And like everyone's commenting on certain parts. And I'm like, what's blocked? And I purposely put Shalimar in at the end because I've played Shalimar 1,000 times and have not received a copyright strike.
Oh yeah, you sent those Waterloo patterns to Mama to photocopy, right? Oh, you're gonna try a shirt and pants and a skirt for Mom. That sounds like a good, nice options.
It's driving me crazy, but YouTube is so badass crazy right now. I'm not even fighting it anymore. I love what I do. I love doing this. I love hanging out with you guys. Like, this is what I do it for. So I don't care if 5 people watch my video. I feel accomplished. I stand and like clap for myself, So I'm not doing it for the views. That'll drive you crazy if you stand there and like watch the numbers.
Oh, yeah. But Rumble's been treating me nicer again this week. I'm back, not quite to my full glory over there, but better.
It's just, it drives me crazy with their weird stipulations. And this is why I literally test each piece of my video. So if you go to my ranting and sewing channel, you can almost see what's going to be in my video because I put things on there to test it.
That's your dress rehearsal station.
Well, I won't cry if that channel gets a copyright strike and gets taken down. I will be puffy face, like having a. I have a contingency plan, YouTube.
It's called Rumble.
Oh, that reminds me as well. So let's have the talk. Who has what's Threads? Why should I do it? Has anyone heard of it? Over 1 million something people, 15 million people jumped it one night.
Yeah, no, it's because it's an offshoot of Meta and Instagram and Facebook. So I think there's either an opt-in or a opt-out because it's a part of that whole network. And I don't feel compelled to participate. And let's get ready to rumble.
Copyright strike.
Skits, have you heard of Threads?
Yeah, is that the competitor to Twitter?
They're suing Mark Zuckerberg because it's an actual competitor because people are tired of
Zuckerberg. I thought it was part of Zuckerberg because it's an Instagram thing.
But it's kind of like the last election. Who do you hate more? People,
Elon or
people
I'll
are.
take Musk. I think I'm gonna go Camp Musk and not Camp Zuck.
I'm a loyal Mastodon user. I'm obligated to hate Threads as a loyal Mastodon user. Okay, Mastodon should be paying you like Singer should be paying me. That's all I'm saying, Kilroy. I signed up to preserve my name. Looked like Twitter. Didn't stick around because I didn't need another time suck. I might do it. I don't know. But I'm slacking on my Rumble. I don't go on my Instagram that much because Instagram's kind of a bust. If it wasn't for Waternay and other people, I really wouldn't even be on my Instagram in the first place,
Right, it's just us sending you random weird fashion videos. Oh, I should have said that to Twitter because Skits, it was adorable. These cats and costumes. Oh, so good.
Oh.
All right, I will rectify this, but not right now.
So should I do a Threads or what? So Phoenix is a hell no. Down with the system. Skits, what do you think?
I mean, I'm always down to try new things.
All right, that's a 50-50. If it downloads all my stuff from my Instagram over, I'm just tired of transferring information and starting
There's
from
that.
I'm over it. I'm just over it because I have such a large body of work between my videos and my pictures. It's a lot. Like, I couldn't imagine having to transfer all the stuff from my Twitter. I wouldn't even know where to start. I'd have to start over with all the pictures and just take pictures of everything again. And I've made over 300 pieces over the years, you know? Like, it's going to take a minute. Probably more if I really counted.
Right, but you don't really need to take new pictures. You have all the old pictures. It's just finding them on the cloud and re-uploading them.
I have them saved into one computer and they won't let me take it off my phone. So they're still on my phone. Matter of fact, you're going to laugh. Let's see how many pictures Godless Sewing has on his phone. I have 9,554 pictures on my iPhone.
Jesus Christ.
And you think
No, we're not.
And 213
And
videos.
I
I don't
try
have-
to write frequently clear out my phone to my external hard drive and wipe my phone periodically, but that's may just be a me thing and not a you thing.
No, they sink, and every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in like Godfather 4. Like, I don't know. what
Don't
I'm
let them
doing.
sink you think.
There's even a tutorial where it's like, stop Apple from bombing your phone. I did it, and it still bombed my phone. This phone is a newer iPhone that I recently got within the past 6 months. I opened it, turned it on, it said syncing, and it turned into this phone. The same background, the same pictures, the same everything. It just cloned itself.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no thanks.
All I did was tell it what language I speak. That's all I did was like, oh, English. It said I got it from here.
I got you.
Hold my glass of water.
That's why people who say that they know iOS, I know you do not know computers. You know Apple's operating system, because like all that Windows, all that other stuff, that's compatible with everything else. iOS is literally its own universe on an island. If you don't have Mac, you wouldn't even know what iOS is.
No, and they're so proprietary, you should not know what it is. It's a waste of money and time because you can't fix it yourself.
I should say they should be paying me, but I've cursed out all their customer service people so they know where I stand.
I feel compelled to stay with you, but I don't really love you. I just tolerate you because we
I'm
have
gonna
a long
tell you-
relationship.
They just don't give you your bang for your buck.
Codependent.
Go ahead, Skiz.
I say you have codependent issues with Apple.
You know, honestly, I do, because I've had Apple in my life. It's kind of like Ford. Like, I look in the mirror sometimes and I'm like, why do you keep buying Fords, bro? Like, because the people before you did. Like, pick a new brand. Get a Toyota. Pick something else, you know?
Right, you don't need to be for the company who used to have anti-Semitic handbooks in their glove boxes in their cars.
You know, it's really funny. I was actually thinking about that today while I was driving in my Ford truck. I was like, I am such a like Homer American that I support things. I support company. You know, what company hasn't done a terrible thing though? I'll wait.
That I don't think my company has.
I'm talking about major corporation,
Well, thanks for clarifying.
the ones who own the government. You know, like I'll
Right?
wait.
Yeah, no, those are all. Yeah, they've all been scarlet lettered in my book.
Isaiah he falls deep down these YouTube rabbit holes. And I said this a while ago. He came to me one day and was like, I'm anti-Nestle. I said, okay. We went to the grocery store. I was like,
good luck, kid. Where's your list?
oh yeah, we were in what I call the I can't cook aisle. And I said, hey, okay, find me something that's not Nestle or a subsidiary that thereof. He couldn't. He couldn't. And that might be my next tutorial, is how to cook for everyone over 40. I see you at the grocery store, those guys that have a cart full of boxes. Bro, throw a head of lettuce in there, bro. It's cheaper.
Right, or you could just get the boxed lettuce and mixed greens. Like it's really okay. get some bags with some frozen vegetables. They're cheap. They're good. It's a-okay.
You can fix things yourself on iOS and Mac OS. I found that they are more agreeable to keep peeping under the hood that Windows ends up becoming. I haven't even dealt. I dealt with Watson for a while, and that was it. And that was years ago, and I quit after that. That was years ago. But I don't know. Honestly, this is gonna sound weird because I'm talking to you on a computer, but like, I'm one of those people that if we got rid of cars and started walking again and got rid of computers, I would be okay. If we reverted back to just knowing the people in your neighborhood and wherever you could walk, I would be okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm
there
sorry,
is something to that. But Hillary, what's your favorite version of Linux right now? Because maybe I'm going to partition my computer because I kind of miss running Linux because I'm a weirdo.
The thing is, these big companies own everything. Every little company we're bought by the big companies. Yes, unless you become a farmer and you own your own meat and grain processor, you can't avoid them. I agree.
But no, they are trying to go back to having to pay taxes for growing your own food and all this stupid shenanigans.
Come to my house and try to tax me for my potatoes. Come to my house.
Ouch!
Come to I'll fight you. I will fight you on my front lawn.
I actually bought one of these for my lunch. I got a pre-made salad that had all the toppings. I was like, blue cheese dressing, crispy fries, onions, whatever. Come to my face, lunch.
Nestle uses a flavor enhancer that was developed with embryonic stem cells. The flavor enhancer was developed with
delicious.
No lab-grown meat. No lab-grown meat, please.
Do you know what's really funny? One of the reasons I shame boxed people that put a bunch of boxed stuff in their cart is because when I was a kid, my mom used to always tell me, like, no, you're going to learn how to cook. You're not going to be one of those people that's walking around with boxes of shame in your cart. And the sad thing is, after all these years, I have to tell my son, like, don't say anything. We just know how to cook. They don't know how to cook. Don't shame them. Don't be mean. But it's weird to me to see grown men. And there's a whole new generation of men who live alone, bro. I lived alone, like, off and on all throughout my 20s. I was a chef.
Do they live alone, or do they live in their mom's basement but still have their little, like, hot plate in the basement because they couldn't move out?
I'll wow you on a hot plate. I will wow you. I'll make you.
I'm not saying that's not possible. Just like putting out, maybe they might be single, but they might still have a mama at their house.
I agree, but like when I lived with my mom, I was chubby.
Right, because mama cooks for you.
Let's be real. All those people say I live with my mom. I'll show you a picture of what I actually did. I was a good 225. Like, my mom does not play when it comes to food.
No, more lard the better, please.
That was pre-COVID too. I was pushing that.
You need more cardio. That you need to be skating more if you're going to fit into your costume.
I've lost a ton of weight. I'll be right back.
All right. It's a tad difficult to do a dual boot with it, though. Okay, and it's kind of for advanced users. Linux Mint. I've used Linux way back in the day, but I think the versions I used Linux like 20 years ago when I was in the research lab. Because it was easier to do molecular modeling on a Linux unit than a Windows unit, but I was not particularly savvy at either of those, but I have some Linux experience. And the cute little penguin, speaking of penguins, because Linux used to have a penguin, that was cute too. Let's see here, Waternay, even my mother, who self-admits to struggling as a cook, would cook and avoid boxes. I think there's a 50-50. I mean, mac and cheese sometimes comes in a box, whether you put it in the oven or put it on the stovetop. And I was going to say, I know at least one human, and I still can't do it right. Who's
might
like,
go put
give
some
me a box of
Stouffer's
mac
in the
and
oven.
cheese. I probably have one till I'm hungry.
Damn it.
Right. Oh, Commander, enjoying a spicy ghost pepper ranch chicken sandwich from Wendy's. Fancy. Hopefully you don't sweat all your sweats out. That sounds spicy. All right.
And
sweat.
dinner time.
See, right, mac and cheese in a box. Like sometimes it happens. There's
Even my mother, who suffered menstrual struggle as a cook, would cook and avoid. I'm not shaming anyway. I'm not trying to shame anybody. I'm obsessed with like rice-a-roni and like certain rice pilafs that are in a box.
Yep. Zatarans.
Obsessed. That
came out of nowhere.
I think I'm probably
not the promotion.
I eat that. I eat that.
Now.
I eat that same
Not
thing.
Sponsored, Zatarans. Just hook a kid up.
Yeah, hook a brother up, Zatarans. And Popeyes. I went to Popeyes last week and they didn't get in a fist fight. Hook me up. Oh, I'm so canceled in every group you could possibly think of. The house was not cool enough. I had to put on the AC on. I've had mine on, and I magically turned into my grandfather. I'm like, turn off all these lights. We have the air conditioner on. We have to live like mole people because this is so much power.
Hey, no, I haven't tried it, but the last time I tried to have my air conditioner and my tech station with my Wi-Fi and TV, it wouldn't work. It was like, nope, we're gonna blow this whole corner. Surge protector, we hate you. I'm like, no, I hate you. Surge protector.
That's gonna happen here one day when I finally pull too much power. You're literally gonna see sparks flying in this room.
Fortunately, that's not happened. But I've been getting messages of, we do not care for this arrangement.
Speaking of which, Apple, I want to live my life. I don't need you to constantly whine at me like my ex-wife. That's why I live alone, okay?
We're not together for a reason, Apple. Don't give me another reason to say I'm over this codependent relationship.
I'm over my phone telling me the volume's too loud. Or like, oh, you've been watching this too long. Like, do not shame me. Okay?
You're not my abuelita. You're not my mama.
It told me my watch time was unhealthy.
Yeah.
It's like, how do I take this off? How do I take this feature out? I'm unhealthy. I drink Pepsi. I'm a grown man. Okay, leave me alone.
I'm the age of consent. Shush up. I'll drink what I want to. When I want to. As the sounds of, you need butter. What?
Oh, it's the pilaf. I'm obsessed with rice pilaf. I'm obsessed. The pilaf stuff in white box. I'm so bougie. It's steakhouse, but you can literally buy it at the store.
Oh god. Oh, are they fighting? Oh, right. Because my humans got on boxed mashed potatoes, and they do need butter. And I agree, Killeroy, we do need an Apple intervention because Apple.
I do. Oh, Waternay, you kill me with the other comment. Instant mashed potatoes. Okay, so before I go off about Apple, I actually have an opinion about this. I'm 50-50 when it comes to instant mashed potatoes. Is how they're made. I love Cisco food. I love crappy food. I love good food. I'm not a snob when it comes to that. So I'll eat instant mashed potatoes. Isaiah and I we'll do what I call science experiments. We're like, okay, we'll make this side to see if it's edible. And I will destroy some instant mashed potatoes if they're made right. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, that's where the real butter comes in. We don't ever have any except for when they make potato. You do eat ramens every day, but you need your medicinal white powder, as Uncle Roger says. The MSG. It's medicinal white powder.
She find my medicinal white powder?
Where I'm from, you go to jail.
In the White House library next to Hunter Biden.
Okay, but
Sorry.
Let's think about this. Like, when has there not been drugs in the White House? Come on, guys. Like, that's par for course. That's par for course. I do need to work through my settings, Waternay and Mark. hear me out. In America, we put salt and sugar in all of our food, so everything kind of has a certain taste. So I think you would like, American instant mashed potatoes because they're bad for you. They're not healthy, and they're not like grits. They're not like they're good.
Did mashed potatoes turn into grits?
Well, they have the same texture. Instant mashed potatoes
Kinda.
are gross if you don't make them properly.
Oh, let's see. I think I can guess this. Richard Nixon to Willie Nelson. Unfortunately, they're probably pushing way closer to Richard Nixon, but if they had their way, it would be way closer to Willie Nelson's. MS Goddess.
Do you know what's really funny? Isaiah bought this weird stuff. He's like, oh, it says flavor enhancer. I was like, bro, that's just repackaged MSG. It's bomb.
Oh,
It is.
no, she's great.
I had to hide it.
Yeah. MS, the white powder make food taste right, not white.
No, it was butter flavored. It was made for popcorn, and I had it on the popcorn, and I was like, I know it's. I was like, man, I'm not smoking that good of pot. This is really good. Like, holy cow! Then I looked, I was like, no S. It has MSG in it. Of course, this is the best popcorn I've ever had.
The best white powdered popcorn ever.
Well, no, it's literally it's butter flavored, but it'll kill you.
Greatest popcorn ever.
I'm trying.
Why are my
to get
gums
off, okay?
numb?
That's why I can do 4 hours straight.
We're not that channel.
I'll never smoke with Willie again.
Aw.
I've told my Willie Nelson story when he had a concert in my town, because my town is yuppies. There's money here, so we have an auditorium at our college that rivals like stadiums. It's weird. It's so weird. But Willie Nelson performed there, and Willie Nelson was smoking a freaking blunt that was literally like, I'm not even telling fish stories. It was this big with the cops surrounding him. He was pre-gaming with the cops before it was legal here. So Willie Nelson is on his own level.
Nice. Isn't Willie Nelson one of the few people who's smoked at the White House?
I think so. Well, Elvis walked in with a firearm, one of the only people ever, and gave it to Nixon. I love that story. Like, all the Secret Service people would look at each other like, who the F let Elvis walk in here with a firearm? Like, I bet a lot of people got fired that day.
For real.
Or they got pats on the back. It's either one or the other, but not any in-betweens.
They were pissed that Elvis pulled the firearm out of his coat and just handed it to the president. That was a no-no, especially after.
Oh, Killer, I'm glad I'm not the only house that buys MSG by the pound bags.
I do instant mashed potatoes, but I make it my own. Same. I just don't make it watery. I add a bunch of stuff.
Because who wants watery potatoes? That just sounds gross.
It's stuff that you give to prisoners. I would never do that to someone I love.
Fair enough.
You don't give them gruel. You can have real bread and water and make your own gruel.
Make your own gruel.
But I will say, in a really weird twist, what was the booze cruise I used to go on? It wasn't Princess. It was Carnival, and LA County jails have the same contract. So you get the same milk cartons that you get in jail that you get on a Carnival cruise.
Yeah, funny.
And I used to go on the booze cruise, and every weekend somebody would make a comment. And I'd be like, "You've been to county, bro." Every time I went on a cruise, we would sit around and wait for that person. Like, okay, where's the jailbird? Because they're gonna say it.
He's the one that's actually making ramen into spread. What are you doing, dude?
But I always thought that was the weirdest thing, because you pay money to go on these booze cruises. I don't care if you're just going to Ensenada. It's beautiful in Ensenada, Mexico, by the way. But you pay a lot of money to go on these booze cruises. You pay a lot of money for your food. It's not cheap, But it always made me laugh that they cheap out on you because you're literally drinking the stuff that the same people that they feed people in the county prisons here in LA. I forget who sung that one, but it's on YouTube.
Yeah,
I fall down YouTube. I love cheese grits. Oh, you guys are making me hungry. And then
Cindy's from the South, so she knows some grits there.
It's the only place I've ever had decent grits is anywhere east of Texas.
I remember the
Honestly.
first time trying it in Georgia. I was like, oh god, so this is grits. And then like the first time I tried, I was like, oh, these are terrible. Like they're flavorless or whatever. But then I had some, big Georgian black guy come up behind and he's like, no, this is what you do to them. And, he starts mixing things in there, salt, pepper, eggs, and cheese, and it was delicious.
Watery potatoes sounds like a weird sex position. I'm writing that down. That's gonna be
I
the
was
new
listening
name.
to the folks chatting in real life and then reading that at the same time. I was like, I can't help myself.
What do you call that move? Watery potatoes.
Potatoes.
I call that watery potatoes.
Oh, God.
Sounds like something you do in a spa.
All right. What's that website where you put in your own
OnlyFeet.
definitions? Oh,
Urban Dictionary.
thank you, Urban Dictionary.
This is going to be controversial. He turned into a real American Homer, but I like the early Toby Keith. He became one of those weird, like, rah, I have to be a weirdo. But I like the early, like, How Do You Like Me Now is one of the greatest songs. I love that. Now that I'm on my way.
Now that I'm on my
Used to
way.
think I'm crazy. I love that song. You know what, Toby Keith, we will forever have, what year was that? We'll forever have 2010. We will forever have whatever year that came out.
All right, but if you haven't listened to Headache by Frank Black from that 1994 album of Teenager of the Year, that whole album, I know I keep saying it because I've listened to it like 7 times in 3 days, which is very unusual for me to get stuck on an album, but it was so good. So good.
I agree with you, Kilroy. Toby Keith is the Kanye West of country. I said it.
Oh God.
I said it. No, he went off the rails. Like I'm a rah American, but I don't like Toby Keith lost his brains. Within reason. Be a rah American, but within reason. Don't be so
What does
like
that
American.
mean, though?
I'm a non-racist nationalist. I am here for everybody.
Okay,
And-
so you hate everybody equally or love everybody
Yes.
equally?
Yes.
Okay.
That's literally a
Oh.
bird flying. That's like those are two different wings or both sides of the same coin, Because I was raised by by Vietnam vets, World War II era people. But I see a point that America needs a non-racist nationalist. So the House of Sewing is here for you.
Bring your needle and thread and linen or whatever fabric you have. We're not bougie around here.
And if you're not into the whole brevity thing, Godzilla Jesus is here for you as well. We make quilts.
Yes. Godzilla needs quilts, please, Jesus.
Like I said a couple weeks ago, this is back from years ago when I used to be in the Debate Me Bro crowd, and this would drive people crazy. They would say it's disrespectful, it's blasphemous. It's a picture, guys. It's literally a picture of Godzilla Jesus.
Right, because wouldn't the Godzillas have had a Jesus? Like, seriously, what finger motions are you doing? What's happening?
I'm trying to
man?
what's the Jesus motion where he's always just like, it's kind of like, that was like peace.
Well, it's the anti-Baphomet. Okay,
That's like the
so I have a question. If
it's like that.
I
this
play the where can I not get a copyright strike and play the video of the that lizard lady that's all over Twitter? That guy's
Oh, that
not
poor
real.
lady who was like had a mental
No.
breakdown on the airplane.
I have an
with the
opinion on
green
that.
sweater guy.
Oh, he's not real.
Where can I? Let me see if I can get that off of Twitter, because YouTube copyright strikes everything. Dun, 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 back to Twitter.
Right? You can't escape it.
Sure, it's not. I already forgot the name of the competition of Twitter. We were just talking about it.
Oh, you mean Threads? I kept thinking of
Thank you.
Spoutable, which was ridiculous Chris Boozy's like knockoff Russian $89 Twitter alternative. And they got blocked on Twitter, which is super funny. And
That's hilarious.
No, it was, oh God.
Okay,
That's
show
an
me a
interesting.
Why are all these K-pop people popping up? I guess people don't think that K-pop guy is real either. Oh my gosh, K-pop. I am so old, I don't even know who these people are. Okay, that didn't work.
No, because they're like half our age and have sold their souls to the devil since they were half their ages.
Okay, so he's not real. Resulted in K-pop people. Should I put that? I can't type with my right hand. It's so funny. That guy's no.
All right, come on. Are you gonna
Real.
pussy bomb my stream? Are you gonna? Actually, it's not my stream. Are you gonna pussy bomb? Or are you just gonna?
There we go. Okay, I'm gonna share this. I hope I don't get a copyright strike for this one. But we need to discuss this. I can't sleep at night because I need to know where this woman is. Does she exist? Is she real?
I know people are trying to find her. They're
Let
like,
me take my stop cam off.
we
So
want
everybody
to interview
being
this
a
human,
boomer.
but we can't find them.
Okay. Present. God, the sewing is still a boomer. That's gonna be the name of my next stream.
I cannot believe it. I don't give two f***, but I am telling you right now, that mother is not real. And you can sit on this plane and you
Shout out to everybody who looked. I'm from LA. We are literally taught as children to not turn around when people tell us to. Oh, we have to watch that one more time. Sorry.
or they cannot believe it. I don't give two f***, but I am telling you right now, that mother back there is not real.
Not real.
And you can sit on this plane and you can die with them or not.
Who looks? Before I go off, I want to talk to all those people who turn around when someone yells, "Hey, you!" It's not you. Don't turn around. Those people do not have good intentions.
They're not tapping you on the shoulder and like literally like it's you.
I'm telling you, like I am literally trained to not turn around. Okay, so I'm a nihilist. I'm a completely skeptical person. I don't believe in lizard people. I saw an episode or two of Black Jesus. I miss Black Jesus. I actually have a Black Jesus patch. I miss that show. Black Jesus followers were mad at local gang members hassling them. Much relief when the gang leader died. The Black Jesus healed him. I miss that show. Put her on the no-fly list. So people are saying that she thought this man was a lizard. And there's all these conspiracy theories out. And this guy, some other guy in the plane came out with the video saying the guy is like lizard people aren't real.
He wasn't a lizard. He was literally wearing a green hoodie with the hood up, and this individual, it appeared that she had possibly made of speculation, my opinion, thoughts, no harm, no foul, may have not been in their right senses for one reason or another.
And because she's beautiful, like she's getting a pass.
Right, pretty privilege.
Yeah,
we don't get that.
But if an ugly person had a schizophrenic episode, like they would be like, "Oh, look at this hideous beast," and everyone like has to. No, it's real. Like, and now all over Twitter, because Twitter is awful. People are like doing the like, "I would," like, "Would you or wouldn't you" thing,
Crazy.
She was trying to get 2 seats on the plane, and she only paid for one. It like
awesome. My son is giving me all the clothes my ex-wife buys him that he doesn't want.
Wait, so his mom bought him that?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I would. That's not the look I'm sporting for my teenager. I mean, I can't speak because I have not had that experience, but that's not the
Guys,
look I'd be going for, but
there's
that
a
might
reason
just
why.
be me.
There's a reason why he's here Monday through Friday. Don't make me say it on the stream. And if you're watching, you ex-wife, if you're watching, I love you, ex-wife. Come on, let's be friends.
Roll, you have to be friends for at least another 5 years, and after that, you can make your own choices.
I know she's probably no, she doesn't watch. She's nosy, but not that nosy. But now I'm gonna get.
I'm not trying to make problems.
But now I'm gonna get all the Cheech and Chong. I'm gonna tell him you said hi, Sydney. She bought him all this Cheech and Chong stuff. He has these shorts that are all like pot leaves. I'll sport them.
Right, but that makes more sense for you.
And we're the same size. We are the same. We are officially the same size. So my foot's bigger. He wears a 12. I wear a 13.
We'll just wait for
15.
next year. Fix that.
We're hobbits over here, Skits. We're under 6 feet.
Shut. No, you just shut up about the hobbits and your giant 15 size feet against my little size 6s and 20 feet. Just shut up.
Maybe a bad trip. I agree, Mark. If we're bad for anything, and I think of all these sci-fi urban fantasies I watch, maybe she's onto something. Maybe a bad trip. Yep, so I'm about to get a bunch of cool shirts. He has a
Nice.
bunch of stuff, and we're the exact same size. So I'll wear that as an undershirt. I'm stoked. Or I'll just get bored and cut it out at the patch.
We all know that's going to happen.
Yeah, right.
You know, I bought him I did some rookie parent stuff. Like I bought him Beastie Boy t-shirts when he was like in elementary school, like Sublime shirts. He had like a bunch of Slayer shirts. If you ever look at some of my patches, those are literally Isaiah's old shirts.
Hey, at least you're upcycling.
But I refused to the only shirt I had with the leaf on it when I was a kid was my sister bought. My ex-wife is like pro like microdosing. She's pro like she's like a hippie, experimental,
Nice.
like you know. She recently tried to give me shrooms, but I had a bad experience. I was like, I'm cool, bro. I'm good. I had a bad experience on mushrooms. And you know what? I'm glad that I just had two parents that were alive during the actual 60s and 70s and knew exactly what was going on. Because I ran to my parents' house. I didn't even live with them at the time. And I'll never forget, my mom grabbed me and she told my dad, she's like, look at this guy's eyes. He's not joking. Well, when your pupils look like a Simpsons character.
You've got my eyes till tomorrow. Then.
No, because my eyes are genuinely like this. When they're like,
when you have no conjunctiva,
yeah.
People, you're like,
not faking. You can't fake that. You can't like you.
No, but is that are the indoctrination of young humans into substances like a different type of grooming?
I agree with you. I'm a complete prude when it comes to people raising children. Like I'm not saying they should be sheltered, but like you shouldn't be doing things like that. But again, like my ex-wife and I, we would have these fights until the cows came home. She thought it was appropriate for children to curse. I think it's extremely inappropriate because you raise adults that think it's appropriate to curse at people because they've been doing it their whole life, you know?
I do have little feet. I'm a short, well, small except for where I'm not small.
And if anyone's wondering, he never wore any of the Cheech and Chong stuff. He never wore the Rasta shirt. He never he came home wearing the shorts one time because they went swimming and he never brought him back to his mom's. Well, there's stuff that's okay for you, and that's not necessarily what you should be promoting your kids. I agree. There's, like I said, for all of my fluff and loud pipes and big trucks, there's a reason why the kid's here. Says the guy who smokes J's like he used to smoke cigarettes. There's a reason why.
Right, but you're not like, hey, kid.
No, every time he walks out here, I put it out. every time I put it down, or like every time, and there's a big space between my house. Like I take precautionary measures. I would never smoke in my house. That's why y'all never see my bedroom. I don't even hang out in there because I can't smoke in there.
That's why we don't see it. It's not that you wouldn't show it. It's just that you're like, I
That's
don't
an
hang out
exciting.
here.
Well, it's embarrassing too that I have a row of sewing machines on the floor, so I don't want people to know that I sleep with sewing machines. I just told on myself.
You've just outed yourself. You come out of the sewing closet on that one.
I think pot people tend to think pot was way less an issue than they actually are.
Yet it's not the right substance for everybody, and some folks it can precipitate problems.
And they're like, we used to always joke and always be like, "Oh, no one's ever been physically ill off of pot," and people have. There are people
No,
who are
that's
allergic to
called
it.
cannabis hyperemesis syndrome for a reason, because some folks puke their guts out after a while.
I'm not sure we know how to process that comment. Which one? I am the king of me. Sleeping with sewing machines. Yeah, you'll see me on My Strange Addiction. Who doesn't have sewing machines? No, I'm weird. Like
Lana and I have our happy times.
with my YouTube channel, like I promised myself a couple things. Like I got out of the Debate Me Bro crowd. I didn't want to be sitting here screaming, you know. But there's certain things in my house that remain private. And like my kids' room, I've shown my closet a million times, my middle bedroom, because I'm spoiled.
You've got a gigantic walk-in closet.
But there's certain aspects of my life that, like, I remain a private citizen, and I consider certain stuff boring, anyways.
I do not currently have sewing machines in my bedroom.
Skits does.
I do.
Skits and I are the same. And the funny thing is, I probably have that exact same sewing machine in my bedroom right now. I'm not kidding you. You have the fancy table.
Hey, baby.
But I think I have that same machine that you probably have the newer version of it.
Yeah,
It's not weird.
Thank you, Commander.
Good.
I'm a hoarder.
It's weird if you don't.
But Skits, you just reminded me of something. I dust like Mary Poppins. You think I'm
Asthma, you should.
I do. I don't mess around when it comes to dust. Like, and where is it? I ordered a duster from a mom and pop, and they looked like they were struggling online, so I ordered 2.
How well did it work?
I still have it. I've beaten it up too. It's in here somewhere. I always tuck it behind something because I don't think people want to see my Mary Poppins side.
You know, I was wondering whether or not Mary Poppins would look like the penguin if she just let herself go.
She dresses like him.
Kinda, right? And they both have the umbrella and everything, huh?
I agree with you on 100%, Waternay. I do not understand the people who post blueprints of their houses and turn by turn directions of how to get there. Where's the privacy? There was a family channel that did that, and also there was somebody who was in the atheist community who was a reformed Yahtzee. I never liked the guy, and if you're watching, I know you're a punk. But anyways, he got doxxed. And the funny thing is, he literally doxed himself. He said, I'm a tough guy, blah, 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 come to my house. And then had a string 2 weeks later about like, oh, you put my family's life at risk. Bro, you gave the internet your address. Oh, we're getting cat bombed. Cat butt.
Cat butt.
Oh, I was gonna make you big. I was too slow.
You're gonna make Loki's butt even bigger than necessary.
But like
that guy Cyrex who just had that guy, and he came out with his baseball bat. He lives with his parents' house in Ohio, and was like, "Hey, come on!" And he's like, "Ooh, but you crossed the line. If you just stayed in your house and yelled, it would have been fine." But
I just started following not following Cyrax, but learning about the whole Cyrax lore.
Right.
And the look on his face when that man took the baseball bat from him is fucking priceless.
His mugshot or his. Oh my god! It's like, oh, this is rough, kid.
Man, this guy like is proof that there is no God because he just is ugly. Like, oh god,
No, a face only a mother could love.
oh my god, it's bad. I'm not usually like to pick on somebody like that, but good god.
There's a difference. Like, I got dogs. I pity the fool that comes by my house. I pity the fool because I'm gonna tase you. I'll tell you flat out. I have a cop taser. I will tase you and then call the cops on you and videotape it. And then Ring is gonna sell the video.
And then they're either
I
going
never-
to exonerate you or put you in jail because you're like, hey,
Where I live, it get you put in jail. What were you gonna say, Commander?
Well, I never let anybody who actually knows me know about the YouTube channel.
Oh yeah,
So that and someone who knows me in real life, so
interesting.
I don't want to get doxxed, so it's
Oh.
probably going to happen at some point.
It's a strange feeling. Like it's a vulnerable feeling. And you know the funny thing is, and that's gonna be my greatest hits too. I get death threats from weirdos who saw me on a Karen video. They find my God Sewing channel and then they're like, I'm gonna do the K word to you. And I'm like, bring it, kid. I'm good at one thing, kid. You know, so people are strange. The internet is a strange place. Oh, what's wrong with? Yeah, I keep my online life and real life separate. Mine intersected. It was not nice. Skits always stalks me on different YouTube channels.
Or did she stalk me?
Well, that's because you're
From the front.
stalkable. That still sounds terrible. You're stalkable. No, because I've been stalked and it's funny until it happens to you and you're like, I'm actually being stalked. Why would people who know you put you and risk and dox you, Commander?
Well, I don't let anybody know who I am, that knows me personally in real life.
It's weird. It's weird, like being doxxed. I hope no one comes by my house.
And see, thing is, you just because there are some people who, if you gathered enough information or you had the resources of a state, you probably could figure it out. But you'd have to watch a lot of shill shows.
I'm actually really boring, and I live in one of the most Mormon parts of Los Angeles. So you will, if I yelled help, my neighbors would come out with 45s and bats and pitchforks. It's one good thing about Mormons is they fight. They really do. They're weird that way. Right, I'm just not sure why that would be a risk to you rather than letting your online people know you in person. It depends on the person because there's a lot of psychos out there.
Let's put it to you this way. Skits knows, and we're not going to say who it was, but Skits and William know someone who became infamous. I've mentioned it to them. In other words, I've worked in the past at defense contractors with really violent fucking shits.
Yeah.
And those violent fucking shits are really the ones that, I never want to deal with them again.
Makes sense.
Mark, I want to live somewhere. I know the feeling. I know the feeling, Commander. Mark, I want to live somewhere where my P.O. box is out in the boondocks. I want to live somewhere where I can drive my tractor and not wear shoes. With my coveralls.
And then
I guess it's all situational, . And like I said earlier, I actually have met quite a few people in real life from YouTube, and every single time I had the time of my life. I had the time of my every time. I had a great time. Even
In
that
fact,
one I went to Vegas and I met that person who hates me, and I won't out you ever, but they're part of the atheist community. I had a great time with that person.
Mippet's the only person who's ever seen a picture of me.
Oh yeah.
There was a YouTuber I used to stream with that never showed their face, and one time their camera kicked off and showed their face.
Like the first time I ever streamed, I think in my entire life, it was on Purple's show, and she invited me on, and I came on camera, and she's like, we weren't expecting that. We were expecting just a little avatar. I'm like, well, what do I got to hide? And not to say that anyone has anything to hide that they're not showing, but it's like I don't make content, so a lot of I don't make stuff that could possibly offend or hurt somebody's feelings, and they get angry and either stalk me or harass me or whatever. But like, yeah, it's I don't know. I don't piss too many people off. I think
every community I've ever joined, they'll always before, and Purple did this, and another community I'm in right now. Black Twitter does this too with me. They'll always say, "Oh, we love Godless Sewing. She's always in our chat. She's awesome." They assume that I'm a woman because I use the name Sewing every time. Every time,
hilarious.
Every single time they someone recently said that, and I'm like, "Ooh, you gonna be," because they invited me on, but I couldn't join in. And like, it's a group. They're all from Chicago. They're cool people, but like, I don't know if I should join sometimes. But long story short, they're like, she can join anytime she wants to, and I was like, "Oh, you're gonna be so disappointed. You're gonna be so disappointed."
They're gonna expect a 36 double D, and they're gonna get.
I have a big head. Does that count? I have a big head, the base,
I can fit a 40 triple H on this thing, but that's not what you were
every
looking
time.
for.
Every
Just a single
time.
one.
It's because of my name, though. No, because let's be real. And you know what? Like people do this a lot. People live by stereotypes, and so they assume that sewing equals a woman.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Like, people do that. They assume the dumbest things sometimes.
No, it's true, because sewing is for so long has been relegated to less devalued lady craft.
Exactly. And it's not just that. There are certain things like, and I won't even lie, like I love it when people say, "I would not expect someone like you to sew." Like what's her name again? Yesterday?
Oh, Ziggy.
I've been sitting here smoking for 4 hours.
Okay,
Ziggy, I love it when people say that.
Oh, right. We did have an extra special guest.
My grandfather came to America, started a tailor shop. They wound up selling stuff to Macy's and whatever. It was common for men to do sewing, especially immigrants and stuff.
No, that is true. There is that the craft of tailoring traditionally has been relegated to male artisan crafts, but like sewing of certain things got relegated to hold on. I think my human locked themselves out of the house.
I keep keys in my truck for that very reason. I get, and honestly, Waternay, it's not a big deal when people misgender me. I don't care, because I'm gonna shock you. I'm gonna shock you when you see it's me, and it's not a big deal. I'm not one of those people who freak out when you.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people who, because my voice is high, they assume certain things about me.
Audio is
Crazy bastards.
Now there, I was waiting for the music. No, but people assume all kinds of crazy things about me, and so I'm like, I don't get mad. And I need to learn to speak Italian because apparently there's a lot of Sicilians that say I look Sicilian, so I need to learn how to speak Italian.
Bippity boppity.
I don't know a word. I do not.
Boppity bippity.
I spent more time trying to learn German and French, so I do not know a word of Italian. I used to get that a
basically
lot.
like Spanish but different. But there's a lot the same.
It is. And the funny thing is, like, because I speak Spanish, like when I watch The Godfather, I'll close my eyes when they're speaking Italian, and it's different.
almost the same.
It is, but it's different because I've seen that movie 100,000 times, so I could tell you the lines in Italian and not even speak a word of Italian, you know. But there's just certain inflections. But I speak Mexican Spanish, so there's a big difference. I don't speak Portuguese. I'm not Cuban, you know. So there's just certain inflections. Aww. Having a sewing business is for men. Sewing as a craft is for women, or so people like to believe. You know what's really funny? When I first started like collecting sewing machines, I didn't know that people who collected sewing machines didn't sew. I thought everyone who collected sewing machines knew how to sew. Like,
Well, that's funny too because the sewing machine is the machine part of it. That there's not oodles of. I've not seen oodles of lady sewing machine hoarders. They all tend to be old men.
yes, I'll take that crown. I'll take. You know what? I say this every week because I'm just saying it to myself. Like, I am not on the level of Fred Sanford yet.
Nor should that be an aspiration.
I you know what? Honestly, I love and respect the guy, and if he ever watches my channel, I think you're an amazing human. No one around me would ever let me get like that. They would call in the white coats and take power of attorney away from me.
You'd be sectioned.
I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. Where I live, they'd be like, "Oh, this is my opportunity. Take everything from him." He finally lost it. I might move to Michigan and do that. That is like my people open up Airbnbs.
This is no, and you can sleep in the White Rotary room. You can sleep in the singer room. This is my Bernina room.
With black
I
birds.
love that song. He literally owns. Do I need like okay? Will I get a copyright strike? I ask this question every week. Because I like this guy. I'm not doing this to shame him. My left arm is longer.
No.
Of course, it's saved in. Okay, I am.
Anyone care to guess what Sydney's cat's name is? Skits.
Oh, that's sweet. That's
Okay.
Freya in a box.
This is a good video. That's a perfect video. That's where the Who was last week. I finally figured it out.
The Who. Are you playing the music?
No, he goes Who, like and last week it was the strangest thing to me. I'm bucking the gender stereotypes again. I wear lots of pants and I have many sewing machines. I love that, Waternay. I love that because I'll tell you, most people I deal with that collect antique sewing machines are gray-haired Caucasian men. That is like 90% of the, like the people, especially the people I sell to. Is a cat named after you, Nori? Aww. Aww.
The cat is after me.
So I show this not to shame myself or anyone else or anything, but can you guys see that?
Yes.
I'm not on, that's just one room. I'm not on that level.
No.
Yeah.
Give it another week.
I watch this. I consider this scared straight when I watch this. I tend to naturally buck stereotypes, and this leads to many people and groups. Same, Kilroy, same.
That goes back to my earlier statement. I don't want to be a part of any group that wants me, so thanks humans for not wanting me around that I keep hanging out.
And I'm not trying to shame Fred Sanford. Oh, all the other stuff I watch is coming up too. I do watch Henry Abrams. If you're ever into Hasidic history, Henry Abrams is your man. I've learned more about the Ashkenazi Jews than I've ever known in my life. But that's a different subject for a different day. Look at this room. Part of me, I would get lost in here. I would love to be in this room. But the other part of me is like, everyone I know would abandon me if I did this.
And that one video where he was like, and this is where my 201s, my 301s, like he can look and like, this is my collection. It's so impressive, that catalog of knowledgeness.
I'm not going to press play because I don't want to get a copyright strike because I talk about him a lot.
Yeah.
It pops up, he might be like, oh, this kid's talking trash. I'm not.
No, we're a lot, and I kind of want some of your machine parts. So
We're gonna rob you.
right, we're gonna go in with our balaclavas because it's not baklava. Oh my god, the guy who thought he was wearing a baklava, and I'm like, no, it's a balaclava.
I love making baklava.
Sydney is Yehudi.
What's that?
What's that?
As Sydney said that. Sydney, yeah. I said Sydney is Yehudi. Yehudi is basically how, you know, the first time the word Jew actually appears in the Bible is in the book of Esther, and it's towards the end, and the word is Yehudi.
I watched Professor Abrams because I have learned more about, like, he did a couple of specials about where my grandfather was from in Mexico. He goes around the world and like he brings Jewish history to life, and it's
Mazel tov.
to even sit here and explain. Like, Henry Abrams is awesome. You guys should all go subscribe. He's an awesome human. I love all the Middle Eastern, Mediterranean, and North African food. You would love Los Angeles, Water Day. I could get all of that delivered to my house right now. Oh, I'm hungry again.
I'll have some masal harut, please.
So I know you guys are gonna make fun of me from segueing from good food to Denny's, but Isaiah is on a Denny's kick right now, and I love crummy food. But
It's comfort.
Oh, it's just the best. But the one up from my house has really gone downhill. So I've literally will take my son on the freeway at 10 o'clock at night, and I'm like, we're going to Denny's. We're going to Denny's.
That's not unusual. You know, I just went to Wendy's, and it was past midnight.
I love Wendy's. The health nut loves Denny's now. Who cannot love pancakes? He'll get like banana slices and all that weird stuff, and I'm like, chicken fried steak, please. Not living forever.
Biscuits and gravy.
Oh, I get all that combined. You're not living forever, especially at Denny's because it's all $2. Denny's has lowered their prices to bring people back.
My grandma used to take me to Denny's all the time, and I'd get the prime rib.
Oh yeah. What do you think of the pancake recipe came out with Denny's about 4 years ago? I love it. I'm weird though. Please don't go by my taste, by my palates. Like, I smoke a lot, and like I noticed 12 years ago when I quit drinking, my taste changed. You know, I love crummy food, bar food. That's the one thing I miss about drinking, is I miss bar food. Mozzarella sticks, potato skins, salads that are not salads. I miss the mini pizzas, all of it. That's how people that drink, that's how they get big. I know beer makes you big, but it's the food you eat while you're drinking. Oh, now I'm hungry. Nostalgic.
Seriously, right?
I have an awesome pancake recipe from the vegetarian. Is that book from the 1970s?
Epicure.
I wanted to say it. I didn't care for the new Denny's pancakes. I haven't investigated what the changes were, though. In my area, salads are served with a side of fries. I've actually
Yes, please.
some of the best food I've ever had was in Pennsylvania. I went from Santa Monica to Georgia and then all the way up to Maine. So whatever road I was on, we stopped on the side and got a lot of food along the way. Oh, you were frozen, Skits. I was making sure it wasn't me. Sometimes I don't know which side of the matrix I'm on. Oh, that's so funny. Well, beer is also a big glass of liquid bread. I lost so much weight when I quit drinking. People thought I was sick.
And vodka is liquid potatoes.
Liquid happy. Oh.
I don't miss the hangover.
Probably the only one here who hasn't gotten drunk.
I got drunk earlier today.
I haven't had a sip of alcohol in over 12 years. It's probably, well, no, because my kids, yeah, he's about to be 14. I have not had a sip of alcohol in almost 13 years.
Wow.
My mom hadn't had a sip of alcohol since 92. And the only time I ever had alcohol was when the orange juice in the fridge went bad after Hurricane Andrew.
That's real. That's
No
so...
Manischewitz?
That's...
I did like sample Manischewitz. I just didn't swallow it. It was Purim, and I was just wanted to see what it tastes like. Oh, it was cute. Just sampling all the wines and then spitting them in the wastebasket.
How old were you?
That was the last time I tasted alcohol. This was like 2015. Now, when I had the fermented orange juice, I'm not gonna say the exact date, but it was when Hurricane Andrew knocked out the power.
Okay.
So
And Hurricane Andrew was in the
did not
early
live up to the
90s.
spirit of Purim by not getting trashed on that holiday.
Oh, I know. I've debated whether or not to let Sir Sick know it's a religious holiday that commands that you get smashed. I was wondering what kind of jokes he would make with that.
Skits, I am loving your combo though. You're bringing me back to the 90s. I'm trying to dress like you. You're bringing me back. Your combo is killing it right now. I'm loving your shorts and I'm loving your shirt and I'm not kidding. We need to bring bright colors back, like the freaking early 90s when people were dancing and happy, damn it. At least pretending to be.
Damn right.
But not the styles of the not like the kind of clothing that they wore in the 80s, which was just an over the top fashion shit show.
Well, I jokingly dress like I'm in the Lost Boys. It's the whole 80s biker thing with the patches. It's certain like eras that I'm stuck in.
That's not the styles I was talking about. I was talking about where you have the parachute pants, but it looks like you tried to go to a disco place and got in a train wreck.
Like Robin Williams used to dress in Mork and Mindy?
Yes.
Do you know, when I was a kid, that show always tripped me out because the reruns were always on TV. That and Laverne and Shirley always tripped me out as a kid. Waternay, I have a question for you. Do you remember the movie Cool as Ice? Does anyone remember the Vanilla Ice movie? Cool as Ice.
I must have seen it.
Do YouTube.
I remember the Ninja Turtles and Vanilla Ice in the movie, but
stop, collaborate, and listen. Brand new edition.
something. Yeah, the whole meat.
Do you know what's so funny? My predecessor, after watching this movie, he made me promise I wouldn't get a crotch rocket. Is that wrong to say crotch rocket? Even though I've already said it a
No.
couple times. Okay.
Too late now.
But Vanilla Ice had a ninja motorcycle. It was a white ninja motorcycle. I still want one. That might be my next bad purchase. Sounds vaguely familiar, but I didn't see it. It was a flop even in the 90s. It was literally made for teenagers. It was made for all the girls who were in love with him.
You know what? I think I did see it, and it is awful. Because isn't it him
Yeah.
just like chasing some broad like the whole time on his motorcycle?
He's hardcore.
Like,
I want that
yeah.
bike so bad. He's
And
fighting
I'm
people
sorry for calling
on
her a broad.
He's fighting on his ninja motorcycle. Like,
Not a friend
right.
around for that easy.
man, if I ever see that man, he did a concert out here, and it made me laugh because everyone in my town went. They
I
showed
think
up.
he's flipping real estate in South Florida because there was like I was forced to basically sit and watch some HGTV when I was visiting a friend, and Vanilla Ice was renovating properties.
Bro, you are burned. Oh, sorry. Isaiah has a mega sunburn. Go look under the cabinets for the Lanacane. It's the green bottle, and it has a giant aloe vera leaf on the front. It's
The
aloe.
AC in my car went
You should
out
put it on your
one
chest, on your
time,
back.
and you should have seen one arm. I looked like that. One arm looked like I was a Latino, and then the other was quite a few shades lighter because it wasn't hanging out the window.
It's just shocking to see my son change colors. Like he left on Friday pale, and now he looks like a Roman or a Greek. Like he showed up like his.
When I get out in the sun, I can get pretty damn dark. I actually have like gray eyes, so whatever combination you think that might look like, where someone's about the shade of William, but gray eyes.
Eat.
So, like all my cousins and my nieces and nephews and my son. Well, no, he's a renta ethnic like me.
Renta ethnic.
My dad used to call me a renta ethnic. He's like, oh, you could get rich, go work for the movie theaters. Like you look like 5 different races.
Ethnic person.
He was a photographer, and one of my brothers' claim to fame is my dad. He was a jack of all trades, but long story short, he sold his picture to this Israeli company, and the IDF used my brother's picture. My brother is from my mom's first marriage. He's fully Hispanic, but the IDF used his picture for 25 years, and they paid my dad the checks forever until they stopped using his picture. They paid him the royalties for the picture and everything. So my brother, who was born in Los Angeles, was in a recruiting office somewhere in Israel in the 80s and 90s.
Interesting.
The power of pictures. He was just wearing a cap with the army shirt on it, looking off into the distance. But my area weirdly looks like Israel, and it's not the Joshua tree, but it's another plant, and they're only in 2 places. It's in the desert by my house in Israel. It's a certain plant, but I don't know the name of it. It's a desert plant, but it only grows in certain areas.
Oh, is it one of the trees of Jericho?
Something like that. They're all in Joshua. They're in Joshua trees filled with them. Literally, if you drive out like towards Vegas, that's all you see are those plants. It covers because I live in the high desert. His African genes are kicking in. I agree with you, Water, but a long time ago, I asked a doctor. We were drinking until he was telling me the truth. This was a long time ago. But I asked him, do people of color get skin cancer? And he said just as much as Caucasian people. it's because people like me do not wear sunscreen their whole life and then think they're immune to skin cancer, which you're not. So wear your sunscreen. I wear SPF 70 because I'm crazy.
For real.
Aloe vera grows like a weed. I just go pick it off a bit when I get burnt. That reminds me, I have an aloe vera plant in the backyard. If there's not a coyote or a raccoon out there, I'm gonna have to go out there and get a piece. That's not. Thank you, Mark, for reminding me of that. It grows wild here too, but I have it in a pot on a on a giant table because I have plants. I pride myself on having plants that live. So I have plants everywhere. Is aloe vera considered food? Or is that like, because like, would I consider that in my farm?
Yeah, it's in the medicinal section. I mean, but people do drink it, so sure.
Ew.
Oh, my brother has really curly hair, and my hair is straight. And go figure, no one in my family has gray eyes. Um, so that's a recessive thing. So could be with you too. Recessive stuff.
True. And I'm the sum total of every person who ever crawled into bed before me, you know? My genes are all over the place.
I was referring to the chat, but yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Because I mean, your son has really curly hair, and
Oh, yeah. Naturally. But I did as well. But with my color, people thought that I just put relaxer in my hair, but I just have to put Pantene Pro V. In the good old days. Head and Shoulders.
and those
And I-
DNA tests are like a really real surprise, right? You like on my dad's side, we didn't think there were any Jews on there, but I did get this really Jewy last name that wound up causing me trouble with the rednecks. And it turned out that they basically probably forgot who they are when they came here when New York was New Amsterdam.
Oh, wow. That's another thing, like,
New York was once New Amsterdam.
oh, thank you for getting that song stuck in my head. Istanbul and Constantinople. Do you know that's one of my most watched videos? Do you know that's one of my, when I cut that one up, that was
Yeah.
like, that was one of the times that I like consistently started getting 1,000 views. I am so mad at the new YouTube. I don't like you. I don't know you, YouTube.
I don't like you.
Well, at least part of
I
them,
hate it here.
because I am related to John Wesley Powell, but at least the you know, the part of my dad's with the Jewy name. That's what I mean.
I know a lot of my lineage, but it's people who did a lot of like footwork before the internet. And I like people, because I come with these extraordinary stories and all this proof, and people are like, how do you know this? There's a young man who's a professor at Ohio State, and the only reason I don't say his name is because they would literally dox me. We have the exact same name, but first name and last name. But he's a professor of African American studies, and he constantly talks about his family. Half of his thesis is he's talking about my father.
Oh, that
So-
my last name. I brought my believe it or not, my dad's dad. He died in the 1970s, and Keith Oberman he worked at two places in a town in Pennsylvania.
I love Keith Oberman.
And well, Keith Oberman gave a eulogy for someone who worked at the exact same two places, had the exact same name, but this was decades after my dad's dad died. So literally someone with the same exact name occupied the same job in the same place, just decades apart.
That's so weird. The other William, like, I'm a little bit hardcore. Like, I think I was raised in the suburbs. He was raised in Ohio suburbs. So, like we're very much alike, but different in extreme. He's a professor. He's a literal like I've seen him on NBC with Lester Holt. And he oddly looks like my brother. Well, we're in the same bloodline. It makes sense. Because quite a few people online have called me out and been like, how do you know this is such a good story? But I don't want to like dox myself for clout on YouTube. Sorry, guys. Sorry, it's not that serious. And if you are doxing yourself for clout on YouTube, seek help. Please, seek help.
Because you have weirdos coming out of the woodwork.
There was a very famous YouTube family, and there was people in this one neighborhood about literally 30 miles from my house that went to the city council and was like, get this family out of here. They begged the city to kick them out because people were coming to their house because they constantly show their address. And like LA is weirdly accessible because we all live by freeways. If you have a car, you live near a freeway, you know? So there is a dark side. There's a definite dark side to it, you know? Are you giving me the let's end it? Are you giving me the finish?
Oh, I'm like twirling my hair and doing stuff with my face. I'm like, come on, B,
I
I'm
have
hungry.
to go to work at 9 a.m.
I do
so-
have to work in the morning.
Yeah.
I know. You know what? It's because the coffee's kicking in. I'm going to start doing a Godless Towing after show.
There you go.
Do you know, I miss those days. Where are those guys, man? Back in the day, like someone would do a stream, then somebody else would like do another stream after.
I'm not adverse to that. Just on Monday nights at 11 o'clock our time, I can't roll like this. I'm an old human.
Do you know what's really funny? I might get kicked out of the LA club. I have never sat through the entire movie of Clueless. I have never in my life sat through that entire movie. You're gonna get up to 12-hour streams every Monday at this rate. I know I should end this. I went for 5 last week. I love streaming.
I know I do too. I just need to go to sleep sometimes too.
So, Commander, do you have anything that you'd like to share?
Just go check out the channel. I will probably have the next installment of basically how we've been mindfucked. It's going to be about the evangelical leaders who do creepy Russia shit.
Awesome.
And I'm going to be using as a scaffold FDR's Arsenal of Democracy speech. The little preview is there, but he set it up so well. I'm just going to use the FDR speech from the first video to basically like go through all the stuff. So
Nice.
Awesome. Phoenix, everything you like to show?
I'm available at Phoenix Collector Circus on most of the social medias except for the ones where I'm not, and we'll be back on Sunday. Don't wait until tomorrow when you can be fabulous today, and don't laugh at others unless you've laughed at yourself. Who's next?
Skits, everything you like to show?
What they said.
You know,
No,
Phoenix,
thanks for having me on, brother.
as always, Phoenix actually pointed in the proper direction. I would like to point that out for the record. And if you've made it this far, I want to thank you. Each and every week we come out in here and we show our arse, but I absolutely thank everybody in the chat. I love you. I think you guys are amazing, and I appreciate everybody. You guys make this channel what it is, and that's what YouTube should be. So until next week, be yourself, reinforce your seams, and I will definitely see you next time.